live on YouTube, you lot. Let's get it. Hi, YouTube. It's Leah Lauder, your favorite mega church cult survivor. I'm going live on Insta. Let's get it. I'm live on TikTok. We're in these online streets. Instagram is Leah, your favorite mega church cult survivor. Here's your early morning dopamine hit for my survivors that have been to hell and back. And I'm here to bring a little bit of sunshine in your life, to validate you, to expose these MFs, these church cult Machiavellians. We are online. Old school bangers. Yeah, you always get them with me. Molly in the cup. My Molly is here. AM in the cup. Paris. My Anguillan queen. All right, let's get into it, guys. I'm Leah Lauder, your favorite mega church cult survivor. I spent 18 years in a blood clot church. And do you know why? Because your girl's loyal. Your girl's loyal. Your girl's a homebody. Your girl's a queen. So, I got locked in. I'm a lover girl at heart. Hey, yes, my girl. I got locked in so quick because I'm a lover girl and I'm loyal. So they got me on the loyalty thing. And long story short, my cult leader was on a mountain in the pandemic. Thanks for the follow on his compound that he calls his Bible school. And he was saying, my empire shall not be destroyed. It will not be destroyed. And he was slipping up. So we were thinking, wait, hold on. This is supposed to be like God's house. So my man was on there just going on a rant, and just a Machiavellian rant. My man was doing the most, and he was just cursing like every single day. And you got to remember, people were unalived. So we were afraid and scared. So they were using our fear to manipulate us and gaslight us into giving our money and to just being prisoners in our own home. I was praying every time I saw Boris Johnson. And remember the weird science guy with the funny ears that looked like an alien? Every time he used to come on, I was like, please lock us down. I was praying to be locked down. So I'm saying to myself, why am I praying in the midst of a pandemic to get locked down? Like, why do I want to leave my church? So I started Googling it. As I started Googling it, Lynn's braids in the car. As I started Googling it, I started seeing cults, spiritual abuse, that type of vibe. So I was like, oh my God, like what's going on? So I checked the characteristics of a cult, guys. I'll never forget this. It was in the pandemic. Guys, when I read the characteristics of a cult, I remember I tried to go into my sister's room to tell her, I think we might be in a cult. And guys, when I was walking, because I had quite a big hallway in my old house. When I started walking to my sister's room, I collapsed onto my knees, guys. I fell onto my knees. I know it's dramatic, but you lot know me like by now. You know I'm effing dramatic, chair. My life is like something out of a movie. So I dropped to my knees and I was like, no, but you guys have to remember, I like that name, Indian Goddess. When I dropped to my knees, because you got to remember, I was in there for 18 years. I've had 2 kids with a guy that I got engaged to after like 2 months. Because in there, people get married quickly. So I got engaged to a guy I didn't know after 2 months that I met on Instagram. Guys, he just slid into my DMs. You know, like how anyone would slide into your DMs. But because they make women like FOOLs in there, they make women dumb. Guys, like up the live. Hey, Vicky. They make women DUMB. So I'm thinking, oh my God, I've met this guy, like, and he was ticking all the boxes because he was Nigerian born. So he was like, very clean, very, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, this guy can make a good husband. It was according to what the cult said. I didn't know this guy from nowhere, chair. I went and committed to this. I was pregnant and married in under a year. And this is what happens in these church cults, because they believe that getting married, it will avoid fornication. It will avoid your burning, like your lust that you got. It's a human fecal matter, man. That's why they're all in there having affairs, because the gal them can't please the man them, and the man them can't please the gal them. And Queen Elite in the cut, Queen Vicky in the cut. They these men are sex addicts. They're Machiavellians. And you see these pastors, I can imagine how they like it. Unfortunately for them, a bad girl like myself, who would be able to satisfy them in every single way possible, would not be interested, because I don't go for men that's begging for bread. But remember, I told you I used to get, I was in relationships with gang members and gang leaders. And a lot of these gang leaders watch a lot of pornography. They sexualize women. We're seen as kind of like, we have to almost, that's why when you look at the kind of like gang culture and you look at the women over here, it's like we have to be a certain way. We're supposed to be like the epitome of sex symbols. Okay, so the sex is hardcore. Thank you, babe. Like these GMs will be like slapping y'all ass, but it won't be like kinky. They are like getting that whatever they've been getting down on the roads. They're gonna take it all out on you. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're going to take it out on you. So the sex is very, very, it's like pornography. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why I said that not all men can please me. Do you get what I'm saying? So part of my issue having been with gang members and gang leaders, is that I'm very hard to please actually. Do you understand? But obviously I can't be going for gang leaders now because I've got kids. So I have to train the men that I'm sleeping with or that I'm in a relationship with to satisfy me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because most men's sex will just be vanilla, because it's that kind of GM, it's that type of gangster loving that satisfies my needs. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I don't get my back blown out in a certain way, you won't be able to satisfy me. So when they're all coming and saying that I fancy Pastor Toby's not going to be able to blow out my back, babe, because Pastor Toby's been begging for bread since he came to the UK. All right. So what the reason why I'm saying this is because these Machiavellians, they have sadistic minds and they have like very weird fetishes. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That are on the verge of just demonic. Okay. So these women that they're having like outside relations with, they're usually women that they see as like that same thing, like as a sex symbol, or because remember these guys in their mind, Machiavellians, they just see people as objects and business arrangements. They don't have the ability to love. So when they choose a wife, it's for the wife to be a lave and an servant. Hey, thanks for the follow, Ayaba. And to validate their image of being this pastor or being this great man of God. So the woman usually, when she's married to one of these pastors, is that she might be educated, but she'll be DUMB, so she will internalize misogyny. Thank you, Melania Queen, for following me. And she will just go along with whatever the man says. I need you to be thinking, coming to America, whatever you like, whatever you like, there's no brain, there's no autonomy, there's no free thinking. Like up the live, guys. I've got 8 accounts. They tried to get me off the net. Like up the live, like it up till your fingers hurt, child, because I speak so much truth, they want to get me off. All right. So the women are basically like brainwashed to be with these men. I want to quickly say that the gospel singer Osanachi was unalived by her husband. Okay. And she was a big time gospel singer and she was up there singing every single day. So what I'm saying is a lot of these women who are virgins, they're Proverbs 31 women, they've never done anything bad in their life. They're not exposed to this. A lot of the pastors and the men of God are just EVIL. They're Machiavellians. They've had a lot of experiences before, or they've been graping and essaying women inside the church. It doesn't mean because they've grown up in the church their whole life that they haven't done stuff. They are even worse than the men that are out in the world. Hey, iconic. So that's why there's women who haven't got married. They don't class themselves as Christians, but they haven't been unalived by their partner or by their husband. Okay. So like this woman was saying, there are women who are virgins, who have done everything right their whole life, are these perfect Proverbs 31 submissive, obedient women, and they are dealing with situations that Cardi B and Meg the Stallion are dealing with. Do you understand what I'm saying? What about the Pope? Yes, it's true. It's internalized misogyny. All the women internalize misogyny in the space, okay? Because it's a patriarchal, misogynistic environment. So the men don't get to marry the women that they want to marry, because the women that they want to marry that can satisfy their needs and their lusts and their perverse, kinky, whatever, are the women that I'm telling you about, the women that they brand as the Jezebel, the women that they brand as the whatever. They're the ones that they really want. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they're the ones that are supposed to they're the ones that are going to fulfill their needs, the women that are out in the world. That's why I've had women that have come forward and said that they've met pastors on not normal dating websites, sex dating websites, where the women and the men that are going on these websites, they are going on there purely for sex. They're not trying to find connections with people, this, that, and the third. So these pastors, they have, because you see the church here, they cut everybody off from the outside world. They do a lot of isolation and us versus them. Okay. So it's very separate. They don't mix. It's like oil and water. So once they indoctrinate the people, you're not going to get girls in there that are fully embedded in the cult. I'm talking about proper spiritual daughters and sons of the house that are going to be raving on a Sunday, and that they are completely controlled. So these pastors can dip into these darker sides of the world, if you like, and people will be none the wiser, because people in there, it's like they don't have a brain. For me personally, I wouldn't have been able to describe the other side, the darker side of the world, if I hadn't left the church cult and then been outside in these streets for about a year. All right. So I've seen the guys in the club. I've seen the church guys in the club. I've been around, single married men that are in there just looking for a woman to pay for, to have sex with. I've done the whole thing, guys. I've seen it all. And I'm going to draw myself out there. And as the time goes on, I will be speaking more about my experiences when I left the church cult, because I'm not ashamed. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think anyone else should be ashamed, especially if you've come out of the cult. I've never been a 304, not a day in my life. I've never been a HOE. But when I came out of the cult, I was going to clubs. I was involved with men more than I would have been, because I was I was traumatized. I had so much pain. I was in the world and I didn't care. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was dating all different types of men with various different situations. And when I'm ready, I will, you know, kind of expose it, because I want, there's a lot of women as well who have been in relationships with, you know, married pastors. And I just want to say that these single married men, yeah, are some of the most desperate, thirsty, hi Snow, thirsty. That's why I say, listen, that's why I say to women, don't get involved with a married man. This has nothing to do with the Bible. This is not because you love yourself. Don't do it for yourself. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Because these married men are so thirsty and they're so deprived. Actually, they're so deprived emotionally because they marry. A lot of them, they'll go to church as well. They'll be churchgoers, even if they're not like embedded in the church where they're like, you know, a spiritual son. They will be going every week, because especially with the Nigerian men, part of church is part of their culture. So the worst type of men that you'll get, the single married men, will be churchgoers. That's on everything. That's period, point blank. And the wives are enablers. So they know that their husbands are cheating, but because they've internalized misogyny, they feel grateful that they've been chosen. They feel grateful to be a wife. Can you imagine? Did you become numb by it all because the way you were treated? Yeah, there was a phase where I became numb, actually, but I just lost my mind, babe. I used to sit on my bed and laugh and rock back and forwards and clap for my cult leader because I felt like he was so smart. You know, all of the game that he had, I would sit there and laugh on my bed and roll back and forward. I couldn't look after my kids, actually. I was about that close to being sectioned for life. Okay, I had an absolute breakdown. I had a personality splitting. I think I had a schizophrenic episode where I had a reaction to some antidepressants I was on. And I've been diagnosed with BPD and CPTSD. I've got Addison's disease. I've got chronic kidney disease, and I've got hyperadrenalism, which are all autoimmune diseases. And all I've got letters from medical health professionals saying that it was the cult that exasperated and brought on these diagnoses. Yeah. So because there are so many single married wives, and guys, this is what I was going to say, the married men are the most dangerous type of men to get involved with, because they live such miserable lives. Thanks for the follow, Tori. They live such miserable lives. They are sentenced to a life of being miserable, of bad sex, because a lot of they go for the women that remind them of their mums. They go for the women that they think are going to be wives, that are going to be laves, that are going to be servants. Thanks, Aisha. That's who they go for. So when they get into the relationships, and you have to remember, guys, as the time goes on, the women have lied to them. A lot of these women that get married are Pick Mishas and Barbara the Builders. I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to clean for the rest of your life. Then when they trap the man, they turn into managers and mothers, dictating where they should go, how they should go. The men feel trapped. They feel suffocated. They can't breathe. So then they start to go out to clubs. They start to hang around with their boys. And then they start to meet the women that these wives are saying, you know, what I'm saying are Jezebels and this and that. What these wives need to do, the reason why they've branded beautiful, high value women as Jezebels and whores and this, that, and the third, is to appease the wounds of the single married women. The women in there with UGLY hearts, the wicked women, because you see, for women that are unfortunate looking, yeah, it makes them feel good when pretty women don't get those privileges, because a lot of these women that are in the cult, they're just jealous. So when they get a new girl that comes in that's pretty, that can dress, that's got personality, oh God forbid you've got gifts. Guys, when you're in there, you can feel the hate, the HATE. You can feel it. Like if you're a pretty girl and you go in there. And that's why I was so glad when Rebecca came out to expose Tommy and Toby Ariomi, and expose that Tommy had essayed her at 14 years old, Apostle Tommy Ariomi. My man knows he's a rapist and a PDF. That's why he's absconded to America. He came on YouTube 3 years ago to be like, oh, God's revealed to me. And the wife sitting next to him is the enabler. But apparently the wife was also groomed, because he was grooming her from 14 years old. He's just a PDF. He's just a PDF. And a lot of these guys that are PDFs, they will want to work, they will want to be pastors and be in these environments, because they will have access to young women and men, because apparently there's been some stuff that them twins have been getting up with the man, them Tommy. But remember, Tommy Ariomi came to say that he was suffering with homosexuality. So it seems like they're trying to be smart and trying to talk about some of their past things indirectly, so that people will not clock. Do you understand what I'm saying? That they've just been taken advantage and just sleeping with people in the church. These men are disgusting. Remember, I told you they're Machiavellians. Hey Eves, they're Machiavellians, and Machiavellians are worse than narcissists because they just use people as transactional deals. But the interesting thing about Machiavellians is that they're able to feel, like have emotions, feel empathy, but they just choose not to and just be EVIR. So I think it's interesting that we're seeing them as Machiavellians now and not narcissists, because narcissist is like an incurable personality, and this is still a personality disorder, but this is a bigger beast that we're dealing with because they actually do feel those emotions, but they just choose to reject them, whereas a narcissist doesn't have the ability to feel those emotions. Do you see why it's dangerous? Because they can go in and out of, do you know what I mean, like showing some sort of emotion, but because they choose to show the emotion at that time. Do you understand? So they're pick and choosing when to show the emotion and when to not. That's harder to detect, guys. That's a different beast. Do you understand what I'm saying? A different beast. But the thing about Machiavellians is that they start unnecessary wars. They start. So you see how we're seeing the American president at the moment. This is what he's starting, like a literal war. Do you get what I'm saying? Because he's a Machiavellian. Do you get what I'm saying? Like they don't have the ability to. Their egos are so huge, and that makes sense why like world leaders. And I think that the malignant narcissists are the ones who have like maybe smaller churches because they can't do that much damage anyway. But the Machiavellians are the ones who, you know, like the Macedos, the Tommy and Toby Ariomis, my cult leader. Do you know what I mean? When they've got like that influence, like thousands of people are listening, and they're able to assert that control over. And that probably makes sense why they're able to grow bigger churches, because there are moments when you might get, you know, those flutters of emotion. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And actually, one of the reasons why, I don't know if you remember, I kept saying, I don't think that these guys are narcissists. I don't think they're malignant. I think it's a step above that. And now that I've been looking into Machiavellians, and if you want to see my content that I did on Machiavellians, I will be doing actual content. Hey, T2 Chunky and Cute Linny. It's on YouTube and it's on Instagram. But you'll be able to find it a bit easier on Instagram because I think I've named the live as Machiavellians. All right. Also, go and type it in your TikTok, you know, after the live. Go and look it up, especially if you're a survivor. Seeing them as Machiavellians has really helped to like unlock another, I don't know, like awareness, if you like, which takes off any type of I don't know, like maybe guilt or any type of thoughts in my subconscious that I didn't know was there. I feel like seeing the cult leader as a Machiavellian and unwrapping that and exploring it helps us to understand why they did some of the things that they did to us. And that's essentially what we're trying to process as part of our healing journey. And I just want to say, guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about mental health this morning, a little bit about mental health, a little bit about antidepressants, a little bit about science, and a little bit about neuroscience. You speak very eloquently. Keep exposing the truth. Ooh, thank you, Toxability. Because one thing that these mega church whores love to do is they're very good speakers. They seduce people with their words. Some of the best charismatic speakers you will get is in the mega church, because that's what they are. They're a charismatic leader. That's the first characteristic as being a cult leader. And they're very good with words. Like that's what they just do. It's just word salad. Thank you for the follow, Atticus. That's all it is. It's just vocabulary vomit. Yeah, and they have like a wide spectrum of vocabulary. Thanks for the follow, Lolly Morningstar. It's just they're very good swindlers. So when I'm told that I speak eloquently, I'm told that I speak like this. It's an honor, and I thank you, because they'll be scared and afraid, because a lot of them, do you know what? A lot of them are DUMB in the church court. They don't even know how to speak. Do you know what I mean? They just get these people from anywhere and they just train them up to be exactly like their pastors. This guy was doing a Bible study the other day on big TikTok. You know, my man's come on TikTok to do a Bible study. A lot of these light-skinned brothers, they just love the look of themselves. A lot of these men, they're just misogynists at heart. They love themselves. They think they're the prize. And I need you to understand, ladies, don't go looking for a man in the church because he thinks he's a prize. Well, the majority of the men that are churchgoers that are going to church at this time, they're red pill popping, Andrew Tate on steroids type of guys, type of man them. All right. And you can see it. If you just listen to them, they're just talking human fecal matter. This guy was trying to do a Bible study. He's gone, oh, what's the unforgivable sin? And I was on the timeline watching. I just couldn't help myself. I had to go on this thing. I said, does anybody know what the one unforgivable sin is? Does anybody know? My man goes on to say, oh, it's trying to be equal with God. That's why Satan was cast out of heaven. They don't even know basic scripture. It's blasphemy to the Holy Spirit. There we go, blasphemy to the Holy Spirit. That's the one unforgivable sin. So if you're on my FYP, you're in here, you watch this video, and you're trying to say that but everyone in my cult will know it, because that's a bait thing that we learned. So first love, you're disqualified, you little idiots. But anyone else that wants to come on and have some chat for me, if you don't know what the one unforgivable sin is, but you're trying to come and have some chat for me and tell me that I'm not a Christian, why do I know more than you, bitch? I know more about your Bible. I know more about. We can even get into the Apocrypha. Would you like to get into the Apocrypha? Would you like to get into that? Would you like to unpack it? Would you like to get into the Gnostic texts? Would you like to discuss how other sacred holy texts all align with these Christian texts? Would you like to talk about correlations and different patterns and themes that match across all different types of religions, so that we can see what truth withstands across different religious, spiritual conceptualizations and ideologies? Would you like to discuss? You lot are not a match for me. You're no match for me. All right. For lack of knowledge, our people perish. There's no one that's going to come into my space that's got something to say to me, and that's on period, point blank. You get it? That's on everything. That's on God. Because you know why? You lot don't have no minds of your own, and your pastors are evil and wicked. They can't interpret the parables of Jesus Christ. You see, Jesus, Jesus spoke in parables. He spoke in codes, so that only the people with like his people, his followers, could understand. Hey, Wakanda. Oh yeah, girl. That's why I've said to me, like, no Christian can come and chat to me until we can discuss the whole Apocrypha. All right. But you lot are closed-minded, and you just do up the canon Bible, because this is going to expose a lot of stuff that your evil, wicked pastors, they're not ready for me. They don't want none of this. They don't want none of this. That's why when Cece a Power, little fake prophetess, friggin' built like an American football player, like up the live, Anya Kapower's wife, tried to come and have some chat for me about this, that, and the fact. I was like, Sir, Cece a Power, Mandem, have you, until you've read the Apocrypha and you're ready to go into that text, you're no match for me, babe. I think all of these so-called women and men of God should just stay in their lane, because then there's going to be some little girl from the countryside that's going to be making you look like idiots, and that's what I've made them look like. They're an absolute laughing stock now. Do you know what I mean? And this is why all of these new age Christians that know absolutely nothing, they're ill-equipped, they're naked outside in these streets, they're trying to come and talk absolute human fecal matter, trying to try and come up against me like they're any match for me. Oh, please. Go and take that somewhere else, man. We're in the new age of Aquarius, like you're friggin' tyrannical, authoritarian type of vibe. It's just no one wants it. Everyone wants to be free. We just want to be living, do you know what I mean, in just purity. Like, we're trying to make the world a better place. Thanks for one and only trees. Ooh, are you into trees? Girl, I hugged some trees yesterday. I went out into nature, girl, and I was tree hugging, baby. And it was excellent. It was amazing. If you're all about the trees, girl, welcome, because I'm all about the planet, Mother Nature. Do you know what I mean? And these are the people that come on my life and they're effing with it. Woo! I just got a follow from Justin. People like the trees, oh. People like the trees and they like the planet. Guys, that's why we all need to vote for green. Let's all vote for green next time, yeah? Let's vote for green, because I trust the people that care about our planet. Do you know what I'm saying? Come on, guys. Because if they care about the planet, they're going to care more about us than any other party. So let's get it in. Let's vote green. But yeah, so these girls, guys, honestly, oh, you love a garden. Oh, I'm so happy. So do I. I'm just trying to do up my garden right now, so I can enjoy it for summer. So I'll have lives in my garden, and I'll have cocktails. We're going to have a brilliant summer, guys. Yeah, we will. So back to what I was talking about. A lot of these women that come into these church spaces are absolutely insecure. All right. And that is one of the highest risk factors when you come into these church spaces, is that you will be insecure. All right. You have a vulnerability where maybe like you've been broken down, if you've been bullied at school a lot, if you've been rejected by your parents, if you've been broken down by loved ones, you will be highly susceptible to being recruited into these church cults. Why? Because they have a system in there where they create this reality that they are your family. So what they start to do is they start to replace like your mother, your father. They have a doctrine where, oh, vulnerability is a big target, especially if you are a looked after child. If you are a looked after child, your parents haven't really human fecal mattered on you. You know, maybe your parents was addicted to substance and alcohol misuse. Any type of setting where you don't have a support infrastructure, you've been lonely, especially. And then if you've got additional needs on top of that, like a disability, mental health. I mean, just I would say if you've got mental health or disability and you don't really have much support, I would recommend to stay away from these environments. I think you're better off trying to find some sort of community initiative, some sort of community organization. Do you know what I mean? Where people that work there are accountable to governing bodies. Do you know what I mean? They're getting funding for the work that they're doing. So it's going to be performance reviewed. There's going to be accountable external bodies that are going to come in and performance review their work. Yeah. Rather than having these institutions that are set up solely by themselves. They've got no accountability to any external organizations. So when you see that these church cults have no governance outside of the church and there's no accountability either than that cult leader that sits at the top, you need to run, because that means that they're just going to abuse you profusely. All right. So back to the vulnerability. If they create like a doctrine in there where it's like spiritual mom, spiritual dad, so you will have someone who's like 17, 18, like NGRM, false prophet Onyeka, who was about 28 at the time. You've got young women in there who are 17, 18, calling this guy daddy. I think that's actually perverse. And a lot of these little girls will fancy the pastor. Do you know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot. Like, any girl that comes in that's from the world, if the pastor's young and he's all right looking and he's paying them a bit of attention, they're going to see it as actually, that's why if the pastor doesn't have, just isn't able to keep his bananas in the fruit bowl, that's why these women are getting actually assaulted and just getting used as egg slaves. Do you know what I mean? You are speaking to my heart and experience. Spot on, sister, spot on. Oh, thank you, watcher. Like, this is what I'm here for, especially, guys. Overall, I'm here to advocate for everybody that's experienced church cult abuse, that these hungry, evil pastors have exploited and abused. My Queen Ines has arrived. But in addition to that, I'm here for the women. I am a woman. And I feel that this is a Vogue issue. This is a violence against women and girls. This is a women's rights issue. Women are treated as second-class citizens. You've got to remember the times when the Bible were written, women were seen lesser than cattle. All right. They were seen as objects. Thank you, Ines. They were seen as objects. They were seen as, the only time a woman could get a bit of status or whatever was through marrying, like leveling up and just all of that. So you have to be thinking Game of Thrones, King Henry VIII, like that kind of time, like very archaic, very animalistic, very what's the word I'm looking for? Brutal, that type of vibe, where they would use human beings as entertainment because they didn't have technology. Just very EVIL, tyrannical dictatorship type of times. So the women are treated like that. It's like they're living in the days that Jesus walked the earth. And as the world has progressed, there's equal opportunities. Women are, that there's equilibrium now because women are moving up to those positions of like CEO and world leaders. And we're starting to see things being balanced out. But unfortunately, because they do up a lot of information control in the cults, the women just don't see the advancement of the world, and they're still slaves. They're still living in the 1920s. Do you know what I'm saying? Where they feel like they've got no rights. They've got to ask permission from their husband. Their husband controls the finances. They're humble, and it's just it's sad. It's sad because these women can't lead. These men can't lead a freaking dog, let alone people and a family and a home. And that's why a lot of women, no matter how whatever, they've had to divorce the husbands. And guys, these are, oh, thanks, Sarah. You're such a queen. That's why a lot of these women, guys, they're hardworking women. Thank you, Ines. They're devout. They believe in God. They're like, so, like the antithesis of me. So really, these church girls, they're very focused. They're Barbara the Builders. They have to build for themselves. That's where they get their validation, because their husbands don't love them. They're out cheating on them, just treating them like a second-class citizen. So they push themselves into work. And a lot of them like manager positions, like where they can boss people around, because that's how they raise the women to be, like organizers, managers of home and whatever. So, they're just, everybody relies on them. They have so much pressure. They're managers of the home, managers at work, managers at the church, So the husband, it just turns into transactional, like a business agreement, like very, so, but as Machiavellians, remember, narcissists, they like that. So the husbands will just be treating them like slaves. It turns into a business transaction. The women turn into men, because what makes a woman feel feminine? A man loving her, loving on her good, giving her good, good intimacy, blowing out that back right, telling her that she's beautiful, telling her that she's amazing. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to lift each other up, but instead the man's breaking her down. And a lot of the women are DUMB. They're uneducated, and some of them aren't even uneducated. I'm just going to say they're brainwashed. So that you could present them facts, of what emotional abuse is and emotional psychological abuse, and they just will not. They'll just, because their pastor's telling them something else, they'll see it as it's I'm a feminist coming and trying to destroy their marriage and destroy their faith, and I'm the devil. That's how they're going to see it. Just DUMB, absolute FOOLs. The husbands never help the babies either, whilst the man does nothing. Yeah, the babe, Joy, the most, what the husbands turn into, especially when they're not the breadwinners, and that's going to be in 90% of marriages. In 90% of marriages in this day and age, the woman is going to be earning more than the man. That's on period, point blank. But the man will be running the home on his low income share, and just leading them into poverty. That's why I don't care what they say. These wives are not honest. Some of these wives will be on like 70k a year, and their husband's still on the 30k a year that they were on 5 years ago. So where they could have been buying properties and having a business on the side, and do you see how their life, she just doesn't get to above that glass ceiling, because the husband's bringing her down. Do you know what I mean? He's not making the same amount as her, so they're always like this, and then they have more kids. Remember, it's not really that much, guys. If you've got 3 kids, do you know what I'm saying? And then, they like to put them in these schools and do this and that, and then they're giving all the church their money. So there starts to become a financial pressure. So no matter what life they're living, they could have been living a much better life if the church weren't taking 10% and the husband weren't sitting on his ass. Some of these husbands don't even work, because when they start to have the kids, the woman might be like the breadwinner, like on 100k, 80k, whatever. And then it's going to cost like $2,000 to put the kids in nursery. So it actually makes sense for the guy to stay off and look after the kids and go and drop them to nursery and take them to school and do the school run, because the amount that he would be making and the amount that the wives would be making, they would be worse off. So these women are carrying the men on their backs. Hey, Harass, you all right, Queen? They're carrying the men on their backs. They're carrying the whole household. Yeah, they're unequally yoked. But again, remember, because they don't know the scriptures and everything is external and how things look, they've brainwashed people into thinking that unequally yoked is if you marry a man that's of a different religion, or if you marry a worldly man. But there are women in marriages where they are Christian and the husband is not Christian, and he treats them good. He doesn't cheat. He adores his wife. He's paying all the blood clot bills. But there's a woman in the church whose husband's cheating on her, all right, isn't working, sitting on his ass. He's a glorified nanny. He's dropping the kids to school and dropping them back while she's breaking her back. She's now got health issues that are unexplained, and she ain't going to the GP or the hospital. You know why? Because she's got to be at the choir rehearsal, because she's the leader, and she's got to teach people how to sing. So her body's just breaking down. She's looking a mess. She looks like she's been dragged out of bed, and the husband will be coming to church with his face shiny and walking like he hasn't got a care in the world, because all he's doing is sitting on his ass and collecting the kids in the morning and taking them back whilst the woman is getting old and looking haggard. And that's why a lot of aunties, guys, we've got to normalize this. These aunties are not old. These aunties are like in their 40s. These aunties are like in their early 50s. Have you seen? I'm 38 years old. I'm going to be 40. There are aunties that are 4 or 5 years older than me, Jaya. We come from the same generation of popular culture and music. Why are you looking like you could be my mom? We need to stop normalizing this, guys. We laugh at the aunties like it's a joke, but we need to stop laughing. Why do they look like that? Why do they look like grandmas? Why do the women who are in their 30s look like aunties? Why do they look like that? Why do I look younger than some women who are younger than me? Why? Why are the African aunties looking like they're 80 years old when they're only 50? Life starts at 50. Life starts at 40. Why have they got on like these clothes like that make them look so much older than their frigging age? And they're in the kitchen. All they know how to do is cook and be a homemaker. It's so sad. Do you know what? My heart, if I could sit here and cry for my African sisters, yeah, especially the women that were born like baby bloomers, my heart bleeds for these women. And do you know what? I've decided that I'm going to stop being aggressive to these aunties when they're aggressive to me outside in the street. Because I was listening to Shira 7 the other day, and someone asked a question like, this pick Misha or whatever has been horrible to me or whatever at work, and she was like, girl, you got to put yourself in these pick Misha shoes. How would you feel if you had a husband that wasn't attracted to you, that you weren't their desire. They're cheating on you. They have to carry the world on their shoulders. They're having to work full time, come back. The husband's not doing nothing. They're the main earner. They were like, wouldn't you be angry too? Wouldn't you be bitter? And that's why all the aunties move like that. Because even if the men are making money, they're spending the money on their mistress, because the wives are laves. They look a mess. They look like a maid. They look like a house girl. They look like that. These men don't want to take them out anywhere. They don't take their wives out anywhere. They don't take them abroad. They're ashamed of their wives. They just want them in the house. The only time that they go out with these wives is when it comes to family functions, because then all the men, they separate it. The single married men have their wives will be all together. So when there's a function, maybe a baby dedication, a family, the mum's 60th, that's where the wife will go. But when it comes to like their friend is opening a new restaurant, the mistress will go to that, because that's red carpet. Do you know what I mean? He's going to go and take the mistress, or give the mistress a couple of bills, maybe a rack, to go and buy a new dress, because that's all about status. That's all. So do you see how the wife, they've been lying to us for all these years, making it out like the mistress is this, but the mistress is winning, because the husband is paying the mistress's bills while you're going out and doing 50-50. You look like a slave, and then you're only getting taken to the places where the family are. He's not showing you off. He doesn't care about you. That's why you look the way you look. You're bringing your 50, he's bringing his 50%. You think he's doing his bit, but his other 50% is going straight to that mistress. Do you understand what I'm saying? For her to just do her nails and buy designer bags and probably buy a car. So whilst you're slaving it out and you're going and doing a full-time job and you're coming and looking after the kids and whatever, the mistress is getting the holidays. The mistress is going out to, why do we want to live that life? I'd rather be the mistress over the wife any day, because I'll be going, but I don't have the heart to, but anyway, I'll be going on holidays. I'll be enjoying myself. I'll be getting my designer stuff. I'm going to be happy. I'm good. Why do I want to be the wife that's getting laved out? Do you know what I mean? Someone said I'd rather be neither. Yeah, you're right. That's why I'm celibate. One girl said she doesn't care how she looks because she has a husband. But this is what I'm saying. Like, they're saying that. But then when the husbands are cheat on them, then they come and make TikTok videos and want us to feel sorry for them. Do you know what I mean? But you're not taking accountability because you look like a mess. That's why I said back in the day, people were telling me that my husband was cheating on me. Yeah, I just said I could, like, I hope he was. I hope he was, because I weren't attractive. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I weren't attractive. I'll put up my picture in a minute. I weren't attractive. You know, if it was the other way around, I would have been cheating too. I looked like a blood clot mess. I was like in my 20s looking like I was 50 years old. Do you know what I'm saying? So block ego. Oh, okay. Where are my mods on deck? Joy, can I make you? They've blocked him but haven't muted him. Joy, can I make you a mod? Let me make, because Joy's been around. Yeah, Joy, just block them up for me, man. I've made you a mod, girl. Just block them for me, chair. We ain't got time. They blocked him, but they didn't mute him, because when a lot is coming up, yeah. All right. So there's just a lot of lies that's been going on. So ladies, don't be in a rush to be marrying. You know, leave the washed up gal them in the church cult. We're not idiots anymore, innit? Like, we're not brainwashed. We're not falling for this human fecal matter. Like, when I see a woman getting married, it's a funeral. She's just wearing a white dress. That's on period point. Like, you lot, listen to me and listen to me well, yeah. Especially my queens. Focus on getting your money. Learn how to be financially literate. You see all the Joys and the young gal them in here. Focus on being financially literate, yeah. Get your money up. Focus on educating yourself. You are so real, Leah. You say what everyone is thinking, but can't say, I love you, cutie Linny. Do you know what, guys? I don't want to get emotional, but I got a message from another survivor that's reached out to me. I'm not going to say which cult. I'm not going to say which whatever. And it's absolutely revolutionary that women that are getting abused by men feel like they can come to me, they're comfortable, and I'm on their side, and I'm an advocate. And it is, I just want to say, it is an absolute honor to be in the position that I am, advocating for such beautiful people, such beautiful souls who have been through hell and back. We've been through hell and back, and we are here. We are online as a collective. We are saying that we are survivors of church cult abuse, and we will not be silenced, not for a second. Our voices will be heard. And I will be doing this till the day I unalive. And as I said to you guys, I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes. And when I can announce it and we see that this has materialized, we are going to have the last laugh. Do you understand me? We are going to have to set the last laugh. As they were laughing behind our backs when they were taking our money and treating us like absolute human fecal matter, we will get the last laugh. Because guess what? We will get these laws changed. We will get legislations changed. Your girl is on antidepressants now. Can you see I'm starting to level out, guys? Can you see I'm not manic? I'm not crying all the time 1 minute and going, I'm on antidepressants now. Your girl is healing. And I am a force to be reckoned with when my mental is fine. Trust me on that. They know it. My cult know it. They know about me. They know about me. They know about me. And I'm not having it. The more, and this is why I'm saying silence is compliance. The more women that come forward, especially the women that have been essayed, especially the women that have been great, I am on your side. I will stand 10 toes down with you. They are not going to continue to keep raping women in these chat spaces. They are over my unalive body. As long as I am alive, this is not going to happen anymore. And they are watching their P's and Q's because they know people can just come straight to me and just whistle blow. And that's it. They're getting frigging exposed. And they're lucky that these women don't want to go to the police, because the next thing that we go into as these women come forward and they start to is I will be supporting women to go forward to the police and actually report these cases. But because they've changed legislations now when it comes to grape, there's no timeline. There's no timeline for essay and grape and all of that. So I will be supporting the women, but there are stages, guys. People need to process the grief. They need to be empowered. They need to feel like they're not sinning. They need to feel like they're not going against God. They need to feel like they're not going against the Bible. All these women for all these years, they've been thinking, touch not the Lord's anointed. The man of God is human. Everybody makes mistakes. We have to forgive, because that's how they've been indoctrinated. So they've never got any justice. Same. I used to be gassed at marriage, but now, sorry, I'm putting myself first. Ladies, I was married for 10 years. Thanks for the follows, guys. Joan, Flower Girl. Listen to me and listen to me well. I'm not a hater. You lot see me on here. I use men for my pleasure. Do you get what I'm saying? The only thing is I'm not mentally to be able to deal with the emotional side of it. So I don't, I use men for my pleasure, to be honored and worshipped. That's how I see it. And I was chatting to that young rich ninja, but he's not worshipping me enough. And I think that's because he's young. He gets a lot of galdems. So I had to cut him off. So for me, it's like, I need to be very much putting my goddess feminine energy. So you guys know I'm not a hater. I'm not bitter. I'm not telling the galdem not to get a man. I'm just telling you, make sure it's the right one. I don't think that in your 20s, you should be using that time to be focusing on a man and wanting to get married. That's human fecal matter. You need to build yourself up, not for a man, but for yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the only thing I would say, ladies, is, for the older generation who have been maybe in marriages, effed up, didn't have this knowledge before, we will then have to look at exploring marrying a rich man. Do you get what I'm saying? To level up. And a lot of the rich guys are narcissists. So what I would say is focus on financial literacy, focus on building yourself up so you're not dependent on a man, and then you can choose. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you can still get a provider when you've got money, but you'll just be more leveled up. Like, I wouldn't be telling a guy that how much money I've got, or even if I was caked. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'd still have in my head, I'm gonna got the mindset of a woman that's not making no money, because that man has to show that he can provide for me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you never know what life will bring. So you've got to make sure that the person that you're attaching yourself has got you when you're in certain situations. I always say love and marriage is beautiful, but with the right person. Yeah. And some people, I also respect people that are still here for love. All right. Because I'm not a judger. I personally can't just make it about love, but do you know what, guys? Deep down inside, I'm a lover girl. That's why I empathize with my lover girls. And I get it. And if you choose love and the guy genuinely loves you and he treats you really good, because for some people, it's not really about money per se. They just want a man that, they don't mind necessarily doing 50-50, or maybe, because for me, he doesn't have to be a millionaire. He just has to be a provider. So, he could have like 3 jobs, and we just have like a normal type house, but I don't have to work. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because he knows that he's a provider for me. So it's not, I don't need like a millionaire. I'm not a money grabbing. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm quite content. I'm content in life. It's just a man that knows that, he needs to provide for me. That's it. Because if I'm worth it, you'll provide for me. And I've been in a relationship with my ex who was more than providing. So I know that there's man them out there who will do it. Ladies, you just got to find the right one. He's got to be obsessed with you. But the thing is, it may take longer. So what my advice to women is to just focus on yourself. Focus on your hobbies, your arts, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Travel. Do you get what I'm saying? Focus on yourself, and then you will genuinely meet the right person. Also, men and women, what I would say is to focus on healing, because right now I feel like if I attract anyone, like right now in this moment, I'm probably going to keep going around the same cycles, and it will just be toxic patterns. Do you get it? So I want to get myself to a point where I can heal. And also, I don't know where life's going to take me. Do you know what I mean? In 5 years, I could be, I could have my own show. I could be interviewing. There might be an opportunity that comes up where I go on a show about cults. Like, who bloody knows? Do you know what I mean? I might do something on YouTube. It might bust. I might get more followers, and who knows? And then it's like another world is opened up to me. Do you know what I mean? Where I'm meeting people from different walks of life and different spheres of life. Do you get what I'm saying? I might, who knows? So for me, I'm just like, you know, life starts at 40. I'm still young. I'm still in my 30s. Ladies, that's another thing that they do in the church as well. They'll be making you feel like you're old. So the church has also contributed greatly to that, you know, like making women feel like if you I'm a gold digger plus a lover girl, don't judge me. Oh girl, oh that really does resonate with me, girl. But you know what, listen, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, Sarah, right? Being that combo is very lethal for the men, right? I'm gonna give you a bit of game. The lover girl thing is where they won't think that you're so much of a gold digger because you've actually got a heart where you love. So that is a toxic mix. But what you've got to do is you've got to train the mind, body, and soul to kind of get numb when it comes to like love. You've got to be able to pull yourself back a little bit. But just make sure, girl, because I'm a lover girl, just make sure that it's unalived row. You won't be getting hurt out here. You have to make sure that the guy, if do you understand what I'm saying, girl? Because with that's what I'm saying. I'm a lover girl, but I don't love easily. So if I love you and then we break up, you're done out. Your life's never going to be the same. That's why I don't F with any ninja. I don't F with any ninja. And I let every ninja know when he gets involved with me, like, I'm dangerous. Like, are you prepared? Like, are you sure you wanna come and swim in this river chair? Are you sure you want to come and swim in this ocean, baby? You better be prepared, yeah. Because less romance, more sense, yeah. But do you know what? I'm not gonna lie, because I am a bit of a lover girl. Because you lot know I've got a big heart. That's why I'm not dating. That's the truth. Because there was this guy that I was seeing, this young rich ninja, yeah. But he was just he's cold, yeah. He's got no freaking emotions, guys. He is so emotionally like disassociated, yeah. I said to myself, no, I can't do this to myself again. I can't, because them guys that are emotionally disassociated and detached, yeah, they make such good lovers, you know, like actually, oh my god, them man there, ladies. Woo! Oh my god, you lot are an emotionally detached man. We just go together. Like, it's so bad. And then I get myself into these like situationships. They end up falling in love, but then they start to like, because they haven't felt love before, they start to have all of this like dysregulation. Do you know what I mean? And then they just go through the whole thing. And I'm just like, oh, I just can't be bothered to go through this whole saga. Like, I've been through it so many times. Like, you know, and then they come back a year later. They can't, like, these guys, especially the rich ones, because they've got so much options, they need like a bit of time to go. And this guy is so young. He's not even 30 yet, Joe. So he gets the young gal them as well, the older gal. I just said to myself, I can't do it. And he's got this kind of older, guys, I just blocked him. I feel so bad. Guys, I feel so, I'm not gonna lie, because he did absolutely nothing, but I had to block him for myself because he's too much of a temptation, man. I wish I could show him to you, but it's bait. I can't, guys. He looks like he's been dipped and marinated in chocolate, chair. Oh my god, he looks like a warrior, you know. Guys, he looks like an African warrior, chair. I just can't, even when I think about him now, your girl is just, you know what I mean? I just said, no, this is just going to be about the sex. I've got to let it go. I've got to be an adult. Yeah, but you know what, guys? I'm not going to lie. I've blocked him. So if he contacts me on a different platform, I'm going to be weak. That's going to be it, because I ghosted him before he came back. And now I've blocked him. So if he reaches out to me like on another number, or he like, that's it, I'm gone. Just take me. Take me already. I've tried. I fought my best fight. Take me. Because I've tried Wakanda. By that time, I've tried enough. I've tried enough. I've blocked him. I've deleted the number. I've run 1,000 miles. So if he is now chasing, because guys, I'm not gonna lie, I love a chaser. Oh my god, I love a guy that fights for me. Yeah. That's why my ex, he was fighting for me. And I was like, oh my god, I've never had a man fight for me like this. Like, it's guys, do you know how attractive it is when a guy's fighting for you? You're telling him no, and you're blocking him. He's turning up at your yard. I know this is a bit of the psycho of the lambs, but I love it because I'm psycho. I love it. Do you know what I mean? Like, be that ninja that comes outside my house with the speaker and plays 90s old school tunes. Like, that's what I want. I want the theatrics. I want the drama. Do you know what I mean? I'm just extra. Like, be extra. Oh, Wakanda said she loves the small boys, the young ones. Ah! Oh no, stop. She's unalive. You lot. Wakanda said that the young ones have strong backs. Oh, Wakanda, should I unblock him? You're making me uncomfortable with your honesty. I found the twin. Ah! Oh, I love you. You lot are my tribe, man. No, I'm not even good. But guys, I'm thinking, do you know what? I'm kind of at a crossroads because, and you know, I've got BPD, so I'm up and down. He's already started seeing my craziness. I said to him, I'm crazy, you know. And he still wants it. Do you know what I mean? Because guys, I can't lie to you. Yeah, I'm crazy AF. And if a guy wants to F with me, and this guy sees everything, like he knows everything. Hey, Velvet, thanks for the follow. He loves my crazy. And the thing is, like, if a guy can vibe with that on that vibration of craziness, we gotta have a good time, baby. We gotta have a woo. We gotta have a good MF time. I think that's why the disassociated ones, you know, like when they're emotionally detached, I think that's why I like them, because they're so detached, they're just on anything. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and ladies, you know, them quiet ones, because he's quiet, he's a homebody, he don't like to go out. Oh my god, I've got to think about it. All right, guys, based off that story, because we got to change it up, because this is really heavy stuff. What do you guys think I should do? Do you think I should just leave him, just focus on myself, just wait for someone? Because I got scared, because I was on TikTok and there was this woman, I think she's more into spiritualism, but I really do listen to them gal them. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of them gal them have been in the church cult. Them quiet ones. Woo! Queen Robs has made her intro child. Hey, Queen. I know the quiet ones are the worst. And do you know what he's given? He's given a younger version of my ex a bit. And my ex, it was just, like, guys, I've only just started to get over this ninja. It's been like a whole year. That's why I haven't, guys, because you know, when someone said that they're a lover girl and a gold digger, that really does resonate with me, because I am a lover girl at heart. Once I give myself to you, if I'm, that's why I get that the gal them just get with guys that they're not attracted to, you know. I get why, so they can just emotionally cut off. But you know what? We started off a threat, guys. Okay, let me just be honest. He was my sugar daddy, all right? Let me just keep it real. He weren't really a sugar daddy though, because he weren't old enough. But you know, these Nigerians, they're just a lot older than how they act. So basically, he was just paying my bills. I'm not gonna lie. And the interaction from the beginning, it was just supposed to be that. Do you get what I'm saying? And I weren't sleeping with him. Like, it took like, because I don't sleep with mandem like that. Like, it's at least 3 months. Do you know what I'm saying? At least 3 months, because I got to see that you can afford me. Because do you know what I mean? But I have made mistakes in the past, and that's why I just don't budge from that rule. Just want to love. Oh, if you just want to love, then oh god, but that's a scary place though. If you just want to love, because most of the men don't just want to love, babe. They got some sort of intentional motive. They ever want you to be a slave or a house girl. I don't know. That you got to do you, babe. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever makes you happy, boo boo. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I would say, because we have to do that. We have to be happy. But me personally, I know I'm a lover girl, so I can't give out the coochie so soon. I can't. You know, he can't be broke. You know, there's just certain things that you know, that I have to have in place. So that guy was not meant to be any type of emotions, and that's why I can't be that girl that's like out and just like dating like all these rich guys and stuff like that, because my heart is too pure. Like, I can't. They just win me over, and then it just gets really hard, because then I got to choose. And do you know what I mean? Like, I've had guys like fighting over me and stuff. Like, I've even had guys who are like, they know I'm talking to both of them and they're fine with it. They're like, person like IG. There's only one of me to go around, baby. Yeah, but I've had ninjas that be knowing about each other. Do you get what I'm saying? And they're cool with it. Like, go ahead, baby, baby. Go ahead, baby, baby. You get me? So I've had my little time, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, men are there to adore us, my loves. Same, I've been with ballers, and some of them are so mean. Yeah, you gotta get a balance, man. Do you know what I'm saying? But you know, as I said, you get me. Like, you just gotta make sure you choose the right one. Like, I've had my time in it. That's why I'm saying, do you know what? Like, let me just be this spiritual girly, have a little bit of time to just, you know, get to know me. The men ain't running away, guys. There's a sea of men. Do you know what I mean? And they've all got their intention and motive. So I would say, just level up, just know what you're doing. Just, you got to have game, man. And guys, do you know what? I'm so glad that I was moving the way I was moving, because when I left that environment and I stopped being outside, and I had time to just, like, let me tell you a quick story. I always tell this story because this guy's such an MFR. He's so disgusting. And the thing is, he's just not rich enough. If he was rich enough, I would have just taken him for everything he had, for, like, you know, for his wife. But on, you know, may his wife rest in peace. But he's just not rich enough, so it's just not worth my time. But anyway, I was seeing this guy, and he told me, I want to say I was very vulnerable and naive. And also, you got to remember, I was in a situation where I was separated with my ex-husband, but hadn't been divorced yet. But we weren't living together. It was over. It was done. Like, I'm still waiting for my divorce to be finalized, actually. And what was I saying? So when these men would tell me, oh yeah, I'm separated with my wife, and, you know, not even my wife, I'm separated with my girlfriend, but we just live together, you know, because of the kids and whatever. That's what he told me, that it was his ex-girlfriend, like they were together, but they weren't married. You also got to be careful for these type of guys with this type of game as well, because you see the cheaters, they project. So what he told me was that his wife, not his wife, I need to stop saying wife. He said that his girlfriend cheated on him, that she was like seeing like other guys and stuff like that. So he basically told me that he had a baby on her, yeah, in Nigeria. But I was so naive. I hadn't had much experience with these guys, because remember, I've been in the cult for 18 years. So I'm just believing everything this ninja tells me. But I'm not going to lie, I was chatting to his friend as well. So do you know what, guys? Like, ladies, you got to know what you're doing. But the key is just don't sleep with all of them, innit? Like, but just have your game. But if you want to sleep with them, it's also fine, because most of them are married anyway, that are outside. That's why you have to be careful. That's why you can't just go falling in love with these guys, because they'll swallow you up. And summer's coming, ladies. The heat is kicking in. Be careful. Oh yeah, you know, I'm just honest, Minakir. And also, people might come out and say things as well, guys, and talk. So I just talk all my business, so you lot know what I've gone before. There's only one thing that I wouldn't want to come out, but if it came out, I'd just address it and own it, and you know, that would be it. Minakir. So but there's nothing, I wouldn't care. Like, I haven't done any sex videos, I haven't done any, you know, the only videos that I've ever sent to these guys, they would never be able to come out and say that they were doing anything with me anyway, because their circumstance wouldn't permit them to. That's number one. Number two, most of them are unalived. Number three, I was in an era where we weren't, you know, doing up videos, and then I was in the cult for 18 years. So it's actually the gal them and the pastors in the church that need to be afraid, because they ain't got ish on me. Don't you think if these guys had something on me, they would have exposed it already? Don't you get it? They ain't got nothing on me. They've checked me out, man. I ain't got no criminal records. The only thing they're going to see on my file is debt. That's all. And that's because of the cult. So I'm not care. Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, this guy, so I was chatting to him and a friend. I'm not going to lie. Because all these Nigerian guys are the same anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? And I had a feeling that they knew each other anyway. But this guy was in another situation. So I was trying to make him jealous. And I did make him jealous, because he fell in love with me after this, actually, funnily enough. But anyway, so long story short, and I was getting paid by both of them. Both of them were giving me money. Woo! So anyway, long story short, I chose the friend instead of him. Okay, so me and the guy, we're done now, innit? So, but remember, I chat to the friend, innit? So, but then me and the other friend had broken up because I just had enough of him. So he calls me out of the blue, because he couldn't keep himself away from me. So he starts talking, and he's like, oh, how basically started talking about this guy that I was seeing. Let's say that the guy's name was Rob. All right. So he's like, oh, have you heard what's happened to Rob? How am I going to hear what's happened to Rob? I'm not in you lot circles. Am I a rich Nigerian man? How am I going to hear what's happened to Rob? So anyway, he basically told me that Rob's wife had unalived. So now my ninja that I was seeing, yeah, we're obviously not as close as I thought we were, because you didn't tell me that this guy was married. So you lot are all looking out for yourself, innit? That's what you're doing, essentially. Do you see what I'm telling you? See how these guys have friggin' game? So he knew that guy was married the whole. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why you can't. Ladies, what I'm trying to say is, a lot of these men, and this is why you have to have your eyes open. They want us to be DUMB, like the wives, like the Christian women. That's why when a woman comes like me and she's on her ish and she's just using them and just whatever, it's like I'm gonna be seen as what, the Jezebel and whatever. When these men are literally out here breaking their wives' heart, making them sick to the point where they're unalive. Anyway, so. Now he's telling me that this guy's wife unalived. You know, Rob, the guy that I was seeing, that told me that that was his ex-girlfriend, and they were just living together for the sake of their kid. I was dumb. I believed it. So now I'm finding out that he was number one married, and he was number two, the wife has unalived. But he caused that wife to unalive because her mum had like unalived, say like a month before. And I just think it was too much for her. You know, like the stress, because now her mum's gone and she's with this guy who treats her absolutely disgustingly, had a baby out on her. Her heart probably couldn't take it anymore, and she just unalived. That's what I think. So guys, when I tell you that the woman hadn't even been, she's got no headstone, the soil's still warm from where they've buried her. I goes to the guy, because remember, me and the guy ain't together. The other guy, the friend, let's say his name was Paul. So Paul's trying to chat to me to meet up. I did in fact meet him that day though, let me not lie. But anyway, Paul's called me to basically tell me what happened with Rob. But Paul only called me because he wants to chat to me again. Do you see how these men are EVIL? So any opportunity to chat to me, because he knows I'm not answering the phone. So anyway, I've clocked now that not only was this guy seeing me when he was married, he lied to me about his wife. So he's not even claiming this woman. He's outside in these streets lying. This is how desperate they are. And then I said to Paul, I goes, this guy's going to call me within, I give it 3 weeks. I give it 3 weeks and he's going to be calling me. Guys, no word of a lie. Within 2 weeks, this guy's messaging me on my WhatsApp, trying to this, that, and the third. And one thing that the guy told me about is that this guy uses like emotional manipulation to try and get the women to feel sorry for him. So that's what he was doing with me, trying to get me to feel sorry for him by telling me that his girlfriend had cheated on him. They're not married, they're not in a relationship. He's looking to leave, to move out, this, that, and the third. But I found him quite repulsive. But a lot of girls may look at him and think that he's nice, but after a while I just started to find him repulsive. But I wasn't as spiritually woke then, so I was just on the money, do you know what I'm saying? So I could kind of move past that. So Sarah said she would have laughed in his face, and she's heard these situations. But remember, I was in the cult for 18 years, so this is all new to me, innit? So now I would laugh. Now I wouldn't even entertain it. I just walk off. But them days I was so naive and I just didn't know nothing. So anyway, he hits me up. Woman ain't even got a headstone yet. So this is what I'm saying, guys. Like these abusive men, they'll cause you to unalive. Me too. I have no heart. Look, they'll cause you to unalive. Wakanda's funny. Wakanda, why did I feel like you were married? God, I thought this whole time I was feeling like you were married. You're not married. Why did I feel like you were married? Oh, you was. Okay. Like me. Now we're just living our life, innit? That's what I'm saying. I've never really had done the single thing, but now my divorce was finalized in 20. Oh, you're lucky. Mine still hasn't been. My husband doesn't want it. My ex-husband doesn't want to divorce me though. I think he still thinks that there's a chance. Bless him. I need to just get it sorted, but it's not my priority. The money. I've got other things to spend. I've got to do my garden. I'm hoping when I get a ninja back on board, he'll just pay for it for me. Do you know, Mike? Do you get what I'm saying? Because I ain't got extra funds to be doing all that. Do you know what I mean? He's tried everything to long it out. I mean, he don't want to let this go, child. He ain't gonna get better than this, baby. I have spiritual warfare. It was no joke. Ooh, is it, girl? Yeah, because I know, because some of them, they just don't want to let go. Like mine, he don't want to let go. But I get it. I get it. If I was him, I wouldn't want to let me go either. Do you know what I'm saying? So no, but ladies, you gotta have high self-esteem, chair, because these men will love to break you down. I love myself in it. I don't give a damn what these guys say. And then I just say to myself, I don't care what you say, babe. I'm 38 with 2 kids. I look amazing. Do you know what I mean? There's no one that's gonna break me down. Do you get what I'm saying? Minakir, I might not be your cup of tea, but that's fine. Do you get what I'm saying? The coochie will always be your cup of tea, and the central energy will always be your cup of tea, and I choose not to give it to any and anyone. So I'm good over here. Do you know, a lot of these men, yeah, they're like, guys, I need you to understand, yeah, that you see, when you get in these marriages and you've been with these guys for such a long time, and you're not attracted to each other anymore, because you just end up, it turns into HATE, and then I'm sure Wakanda, this can resonate, and any people who are divorced yet or not in the relationship anymore, you become like brother and sister. That's how it actually becomes. You become like roommates. They start to PISS you off. So you start fighting like brother and sister, like cat and dog. Me and my ex-husband, we would get into fights like we were siblings. It was so crazy. The love just goes, Jer. Do you get what I'm saying? And then before you know it, it's you're just like brethrens, and you're always fighting. So the thing is, these single married wives, they can lie to themselves, but I have seen what goes on inside the church. I have seen what goes on outside of the church. I have seen all of the churchgoers, the church guys. There's mandem, yeah, that I've dealt with, yeah. And then when I'm looking on their WhatsApp status, there's one guy in particular, he is absolutely disgusting. I'm not even going to talk about this. But again, if I was to have pictures and I was putting, even including my ex-husband, a lot of you lot got shocked. Do you remember that day when I put up the picture of my ex-husband? And a lot of gal them was feeling him, Because as I said, like, my kids are beautiful. My ex-husband's not butters, but I don't go for good-looking men. That's what I'm saying. Like, I overlooked a lot of things. Like, he would be seen as like caramel or light skin kind of SEXY chocolate. My ex-husband's not butters. And he drives a nice car. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of gal them would go for him. Like, that's not what it's about for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what point was I getting to? Oh, I've completely forgotten. Yeah, the guys that I'm talking about, they're not trash and they've got money. It's just because I'm a bit delusional, and also I'm into vibes. I'm a vibes and energy and frequency girl. Thanks for the follow, 083. So and they become monitoring spirits, minding your business. Woo! Yeah, it's so true. That's why you got to be careful the guys that you get into your energy, because you see that guy that's my ex that I told you about. Even though like we split up, he won't let go of me energetically. That's another thing. So it takes longer. Oh, I love me some Common. Oh yeah, you're loving Common. This song reminds me of my boyfriend that unalived in police custody. Woof. I used to play this music. I used to play this tune, and I used to think about him, and like, so it's kind of like our song. So when it comes on, you know, Common so deep. Oh no, don't worry, girl. I can listen to it like from a frequency level of I had that love. I experienced that love. I felt that love. And for me personally, guys, I'm still deconstructing and healing from my last relationship that I had to let go, unfortunately. Guys, if I was still with that guy, you wouldn't see me on the internet like this. You wouldn't. I wouldn't have been here. So I know that that was kind of like a sacrifice that I had to make to do what I'm doing. And I think that love, my last love, I think it awakened me. It awakened me to loving myself. It awakened me to my purpose. And that's why I'll always have love for that guy. Do you know what I mean? I will always love him. And I will always love you. Such a sad love story, Chair. It's like Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, girl, it is what it is. It is what it is. I think to myself, you know, I've got this. I've got a purpose. I've got beautiful people. Oh, thanks, Mims. I've got beautiful people that, as the collective, I'm never alone. And a lot of the collective, there's a lot of young gal them, you know, they're in their 20s. They still got a long way to go until they settle down. Hey, Wakanda, thank you, my queen. They've still got a while to settle down. I don't see any of them gal them getting married anytime soon. Do you know what I'm saying? So we got a sister circle, baby. I got survivors as young as 21, Chair. We go to the cinema and stuff. So I'm kind of like living my 20-year-old life through them. And they're very focused and they want to go to museums and galleries. And so I find purpose and just having a lovely life through, you know, with the survivors. I've got friends now, which is absolutely amazing. Even Wakanda, I need to go out with Wakanda. She seems like she'll be fun. So I've made beautiful friendships and connections with people. So I kind of feel like I've only ever loved two men really in my life, which was the ex that I'm telling you about, and my boyfriend that unalived. And I feel like I've experienced true love. Some people don't ever get to experience true love. So if I just never have it again, I have peace with that. And I'm fine with just dedicating my life to the movement, helping people through religious abuse. I don't know how long my coochie's going to last for. So this is just the season I'm in for now, guys. If I do decide, you know, that I need some D, I'll just call up, just call up my ninja from back in the day. No matter what situation he's in, no matter where he's at, he's going to give me that D. I just have to be patient. I could just unblock ninjas and they'll become running back. Like, men are easy. They act like we're the easy ones, but they're so easy, gal them. That's why I say focus on yourself. Yes, I need one of those. Yeah, but you know what it is? Wakanda, remember, I'm from the hood, babe. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? I always got an undercover hood ninja that's on the even if I don't have a roster, I'm always gonna have a ninja like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's get back into what we were talking about. Hey, say no, the cult. Babe, I voice noted you, but I think you're probably busy. I don't even know if are you still on here? Look at Wakanda. She said, girl, me too. You always have to have one of those, isn't it? You have to, man. They're so ride or unalived. Do you know what I mean? I always need like, and I give them like extra chances. I don't know why, because I'm a sucker. I think it's because of the trauma. Because of the trauma they've been through. I like let things slide. There's one ninja I just can't stand to block him. He's so annoying, and he lets me down so much, and he's all over the place, and he just annoys me. But I got so much love for him. Like he is in fact my ninja. Oh, thanks, Sarah. He lets me down so much, but and he's short as well. He's so small. He's like, oh, I love my short ninjas. I know that the gal then aren't really effing with the short ninjas, but that's all right. I don't mind because then there's more short ones for me. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna end up with a short ninja, because they feel like it kind of validates them, when they got the tall gal. They feel like good. Oh, you love a hobbit. Wakanda, we need to go out. It looks like we're on the same vibe, chair. I love a short man them. Oh my god, especially when they got money. Oh god. Like that's what I clocked you. Like I clocked it's actually better to go for the short ones with money because they'll overcompensate. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they got that short man syndrome. I absolutely love it, chair. Like so, yeah. So I've kind of like back in the day, I used to go for big guys. One girl, she did a TikTok, yeah, and she was like, the big ninjas, like that's where it's at, yeah. So in the comments, I put big ninjas used to be my bread and butter back in the day, early 2000s. Yeah. And I got guys, that comment is liked up. I don't even know how many likes it's got now. And the creator was busting up. And I was like, yeah, that's why for me, because like the gal them now, they like to go for the big ninjas. But back in the day, like the early 2000s, 2002, 2003, no one was going for big ninjas. And they're where it's at, chair. But now the big ninjas, because of Rick Ross and whatever, they're just too much girl like them. So I think that it's about the short ninjas. They are all tall when they stand on their wallet. Yeah, girl, that's it. And the other thing as well that I noticed, they don't like embarrassment, because like they've got a lot of insecurities about their height. So if you take them out and you say things like loud, like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's okay, babe, if you can't afford it. Someone said I had to get rid of my hobbit because he wanted a baby and marriage, but I didn't. Goodbye. My focus is on my degree. Yeah, them short ones, they do like to do like family vibes quickly, but I feel like they've got game. Guys, all right, let me just, because it seems like we're getting into, let's talk about Leah's business. But you know what? I don't care because you guys are my BFFs and I know the whole world is watching. But hey, I'm not ashamed of anything I've done because no one could call me a HOE. I got these ninjas on lock. Are you having a laugh? Do you know what I mean? Like these ninjas are out here loving to claim your girl. Don't ever get it twisted. So anyway, what was I going to tell you about this ninja? Yeah, so this ninja, yeah, like these short ones, they love to do up like family vibes. Like, but the reason why I had to start like, because he was like, oh, why am I treating him like this? Like, why do I talk to him like this, that, and the third? But it's like, how do you want me to talk to you? Like, we're not in a relationship. Like, I've told you, it's never going to be that. Do you know what I mean? Then it's like this ninja, because you know what these guys are like, like, because basically, he's a retired guy from the roads, isn't it? Like, now he's got his business. And he don't have a girl, so he's very sought after. You know them clean hood ninjas, you know how it is. So he's very sought after. So he's always got different gal them. He's always, do you understand? But why are you lying to me? Like, I'm calling you at like 1 p.m. I'm like, oh, which broad are you with today? You know, them ones, like, just like a little, like, just kicking it because I'm home girl. I hate it when you're trying to lie to me. So now you're trying to put me like in this wifey category, like where you're lying to me about what you're doing and where you are. Like, I've said to you, like, it's not that in it. Like, just tell me where you are. Like, if you're blowing out a girl's back, like, it's not a problem. Do you get what I'm saying? And then if I start talking about other man them, he starts getting angry. But why are you doing that? Do you know what? That's why Gallem, don't fall for these type of games. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they just all want to get into your head. That's all it's about. This ninja comes to me one afternoon about, he's seen the fun fair. There was some fun fair somewhere. My man's come to me about, he thought it would be nice if we took the kids. What? Guys, I just froze on the phone and I was just like, no, like, what are you doing? Like, his kids are my kids, girl. And this is what I'm saying. Like, you see these man them, yeah, like that's what they'll try and do. They'll try and be doing up like happy families. And this is when they get you, because you know what it was with this guy. I was a bit blindsided, I'm not gonna lie. Because who's that? Oh, let's just delete these scrubby gal them. Guys, make sure you mute the accounts as well, yeah. Because you know when I see the thing, I get like really I get angry. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so this guy, I'm just thinking I blindsided him because he was short. And I hadn't dealt with a ninja that short before, but his face was so fine. Like I used to look at him all the time and I used to think, rah, if you were tall, you would have been problems, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Hey, Christ first. I just used to look at him like God made him short for that reason, because there's no way if that ninja was tall, the way, because he got good, you know what? He got money. He's got a nice face. Like he's just fine, Jay. Like he's probably one of the best looking guys that I've ever been out with, like facially. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he is SEXY, Jay. I don't know why I'm feeling like I'm missing this ninja, but I will not phone him. He's lucky he didn't get blocked. So anyway, you've got to be careful of them short ones, ladies. Do you get what I'm saying? Especially when they got like good faces, because sometimes the gal them will overstep that. And the thing is, guys, you may think that they're not packing because they're short, yeah, but like some of these short guys really do have some stuff going on downstairs. So I would say, ladies, just be careful, okay? Don't blindside don't like overlook the short ones. All right. So I don't know why I've gone into all my personal business, but do you know what it is, guys? Like, I just feel like just being free and open, because something might be able to help a girl. Do you know what I mean? Or a young woman from being whatever. I'm with one 5 years in. Is it what a short guy? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, girl. Because a lot of these girls, they're missing out on good guys because they've got a rule in their head like 6'1". And you know what happens? These girl them, I knew I was gonna need tissue and then I weren't gonna be able to move. The thing about these gal them, yeah, the ones that are saying that they're gonna go for the 6'1" and they're not gonna like, and that's their absolute rule, is because they'll end up. If you want to, because we've still got 2 more hours. Do you want to play on? You could play on your game for 1 more hour if you like, because you're excited, aren't you? I'm taking my little girl to a little birthday party, guys. I'm so terrible. Yeah, I don't f with the parents. I f with the because I f with the parents and my older kids. Yeah, I have to be careful because they might see I'm in here. I don't f with most of the parents in that group. Yeah, just not effing with them. All right, because you know what I'm like, guys. I can't keep my mouth shut. I can't let anything slide. So I'm always getting myself in problems. So anyway, I'm not effing with these. I feel like some of the parents are not very educated around race and inclusivity. So I'm not really effing with them. But so there's this, you know, they got these parents group chats. They've been posting all of the birthdays, and I've been like, oh my god, my little girl's not got invited to any birthdays. Like I feel bad. Maybe they're not inviting her because of me, because I'm problematic. But then, guys, do you know what I checked? I don't check the group. So she's been getting invited to all these parties and I haven't been checking it. I felt so bad. So I asked her about birthdays yesterday and she said, oh, there's one today. So I've got to take her. Yeah, because Ennis, I don't F with the parents. And you know what I'm like? I'm like a cannon, you know, it just goes from 0 to 100. So I'm hoping I can just drop her off, you know, for the 2 hours and then pick her up. So we'll see. So that's what she's coming in. She's really excited about the party. That's why I thought, let me come on early, because if I do this, I go to this party thing, then for those 2 hours, if I can even just find another place, I could come and do a live for a couple of hours, do you know what I mean, while she's at the party. So around that time, guys, you will be hearing from me. But yeah, I think the reason why I talk like this as well is because I was so trapped. I was so DUMB. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when I was in the cult, like I'd rather be this woman that they class as a Jezebel, a witch, a Delilah, a HOE, whatever they want to call me, than be a DUMB wife who's in there. You lot, a woman called Keely Still was ironing and preparing her husband to go and spend 2 nights to go and spend the weekend with his mistress. Now, what I want to say is that Keely Still any different to a wife that knows that her husband is in a relationship with another woman? She knows he's having an affair, but she decides to turn the blind eye. Is she any different? And that's why I'm so glad I've got my TikTok husband, Jermaine Cole, because he doesn't cheat on me. You know, you never see Jermaine Cole running around in these streets being on lives with any other gal. You never see him jumping on the lives talking. He doesn't whore himself out like that. Jermaine only comes onto my lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a faithful husband. You lot have got a TikTok husband, you know, Jermaine Cole. Yeah. Jermaine is, you see what I'm saying? Jermaine, man, what's going on? You get me? Like, don't be afraid. I don't bite. But you see, Jermaine is like the top 5% Caribbean man them. You know, when I was telling you lot that there's a top 5% of the Caribbean, because I don't F with Caribbean man them, but Jermaine is top 5%. Jermaine, how old are you? In your 30s. Jermaine's bought this property, this Victorian type of property, and he's like doing it up. And Jermaine's got this property and he's doing it up, and he's so clean as well. Like, he cleans his house, he's OCD, he's in there, he does these videos of him cleaning. And he does these videos of him like, and he's topless and stuff. Oh my God, Jermaine, I love your content. Can we get more content of you in the gym? Jermaine, we want more content of you in the gym. And Jermaine, I'd also like more content of you cooking topless, if you will. Okay, I would like to see you make them cinnamon buns again, but with no top. Just maybe like, Jermaine, you need to do some vibes, because I love to cook when I come out of the shower. Yeah. What's DKM? Because he's so young. He's a young ninja. Jermaine, what's DKM? I don't know what it means. What does DKM mean? Oh my God, but I know it's good. Does it mean like I'm gonna do it? Yeah. All right. So I'll be looking out for your content. Sorry, Jermaine distracted me. But what I'm saying is, Jermaine's in his 30s and he's got his own property. Do you know what I mean? I think he's got a very good job as well. He's given professional and he looks tall as well. Woo! And he's dark skinned as well. Chair. Jermaine, I just want to let you know that you're fine. Okay. I just have to let you know that, because you know, I see a lot of TikTok man them just doing up human fecal matter. But you know what I like about Jermaine? He's himself and he's secure in what he does. I like that. That's like what a real man does. Do you get what I'm saying? And he's clean. Oh God, any man that's clean, that turns me on, you know. Oh God, I just love a clean man, because I'm very clean myself. I can't take like stinky breath. I can't take a man that doesn't clean his, you know, his groin area properly. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't like dirty fingernail. Like, Jermaine looks like the type that I might see in a nail shop, you know, like here and there, like getting his nails did. Jermaine, do you get your nails did as well? Do you get them like cleaned? This is why I can't deal with the young ninjas. I can't deal with them. I can't deal with the young rich ninjas, because I know Jermaine's got money. I know Jermaine's got money. I can't deal with those type of guys, because it will be too toxic. Do you know what I mean? I've got to let them live their life. I've got to let Jermaine meet a woman that he wants to settle down with and have kids and stuff. I'm just going to come in and disrupt all of that. That's why my young rich ninja that I was talking to before, you know, the one that I tell you about, I should have just rocked it with him, because that ninja, do you know what I mean? He's still at least got another 5 years till he settles down, I reckon. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's still all over the place, but I don't know. He's got to fight for me because I've blocked him now. Do you know what I mean? So if he fights for me, then I might see him. But if he doesn't fight for me and he just leaves it at that after he's been blocked, then that's just going to be the end of it, unfortunately. So anyway, welcome, Jermaine. But again, you know, the women are taught to HATE themselves in the church cult. So this is why in the church, you don't get anybody like talking about sensuality, talking about sex. It's like seen as a sin. So that's why all the girls are getting abused in there. You know, virgins are getting their virginities taken off them. You know, that's such a sacred thing. You know, like, they want to come and be telling me about myself and be coming and chatting my name. But there's no way that there's going to be a young girl that's following me online, that comes on, that listens to me on lives, and there's no way that a man is going to be able to dupe her and take her virginity. Absolutely no way. That's on period point blank. So you can say whatever the hell you want, boo-boo, but you lot in the church cult, you women aren't saying nothing. You're not teaching the women about sexuality. You're not teaching the women about sex. You're not teaching the women about safe sex. You're not teaching the women about preds, because you are married to preds. You are married to rapists. You are married to SAOs. You are married to men that put their hands on you. You can't come and teach the women nothing. It says in the Bible that the older women should be teaching the younger women the ways, but you can't teach them the ways because you're an abused woman. Thanks for the follow, Nita. You're not having. When was the last time that these wives got their backs blown out? It was probably their wedding day. The only time these women are getting their backs blown out is when it's to have children. That's it. That's it. On period, point blank. And these women have children to appease their own needs because the men don't love them. So they have the children because they get the love of the children. That's what happens. These women stay in these abusive relationships and then they just keep having the kids. So you will see that the most abused women will have more kids. So she'll have like 4 kids, 5 kids, 6 kids, because she just keeps having the children. It's a bit like the story of Leah. You know, Leah and Jacob, where she kept having the kids and God honored her with the kids, apparently, because Jacob rejected her or didn't want her. But with that story, what I take from it is that a lot of these women are like this. A lot of the abused women in the church cults, they just keep having the kids. And then what happens? Because when my marriage was at its worst, like it was terrible, that's why my younger one, she's got this, it's very when I came out of the church cult and I saw that I was using my younger child as like, you know, like compensation, like almost like I'm getting all the love I should have been getting off my husband, you know, like the emotional love and whatever, because that's what happens. They start to get the love from the kids. And that's why you'll see in a lot of African households that the eldest son there's some weird dynamic with the mum. Like it's almost like she sees the son as her husband and then they'll be involving yourself in the marriage. That's why a lot of people get divorced, because of these single married African auntie wives that think that they're married to their son and think that so it becomes the auntie, the son and the wife all in the relationship, and then the women are just living a life through what it's the mother-in-law that runs things in that marriage. Yeah. So I can't even remember what I was saying, but basically, yeah. So my youngest, I mollycoddled her. I gave her wrapped her in cotton wool. Like if I didn't come out of the cult and see what I was doing, she would have had like her social skills would have been effed up. And she would have been so clingy to me that she wouldn't have even been able to be confident and stand on her own 2 feet. Thanks, so says she. So a lot of women, they overcompensate and that their children are wrapped in cotton wool. And that's why when they get in these church spaces, they just get used and abused because mummy hasn't even told them what their private area is about or what their, do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of unhealthy relationships that these women form with their kids where they just like, they haven't got any like common sense, do you know what I mean, to survive like in the real world. And this is why a lot of kids are getting essayed, are getting graped, are getting, because the parents just wrap them up in cotton wool, like a lot of the African parents. So you'll see that there's generations of women that have been abused, not loved by their husbands, getting cheated on left, right and center. Do you know what I'm saying? And so getting cheated on left, right and center. There's no love, and guys, you know, when they talk about this submissive obedient thing, yeah, they always miss out the part where the husbands are supposed to love their wives like Jesus so loved the world that he gave his life. All right, so that kind of love is like a love where he'd be willing to take for you, he'd be willing to, you know, sacrifice his life over you. Like I don't think people understand how deep that statement is. So before you go rushing into a marriage, you need to make sure that that man is willing to take a bullet for you. That's why me personally, I would never get into a marriage again. I think it's an institution. I think it's institutionalized. I think that there's some sort of law that's governing this institution where when people get into a marriage, it just starts going pear-shaped. Like it's like some curse or something. And I don't even believe in curses. I just feel like once people start getting married, that's it. Their life's down the drain. I don't think it's from God. And I just feel like a lot of the translations, like, you know, Jesus, like probably if we looked at the call, you know, it says, let every man have one wife. I feel like it probably said, let every man have like, you know, like one partner or one. I don't necessarily think, I think they've changed wife to fit into their social constructs, you know, like the social norms and the institutions that they've created. So many people's husbands hate them, literally. Yeah, that's why you're seeing that a lot more women are getting unalived by their husbands. Look at the Kenyan Olympian that got unalived by the husband. Osanachi, the famous gospel singer, got unalived by a husband. When you look at all of the men that are unaliving women right now, it's an epidemic. What do you mean, Rebecca, for everyone? It's an epidemic, an absolute epidemic where women, you know, men, HATE women so much, and it's happened for a lot of this misogynistic. This is why we're moving into matriarchy. And now when we just sniff a bit of misogyny and a bit of patriarchy, we just shut it down. We just shut it down because we know how dangerous those seeds of thought are. We know how detrimental it can be to society and to women growing up in a misogynistic patriarchal society, because this is why we have the mess that we're in right now. And also it's shown us that when we have a misogynistic and patriarchal society that we allowed to breed, that we get American leaders like who we have at the moment, who is absolutely he's just acting like a slave master and a colonizer. He's taken away rights for people of color, all of the stuff he's doing with, you know, LGBTQ plus community. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible what's going on. And then Keir Starmer's a little follower. He's a little bottom bee. So there he is up underneath his batty crease. You know, I just wish that England just has a backbone. Do you know what I mean? I haven't seen politics right now to see if they're, you know, separating themselves from the US, but I really hope they will. I know a lot of parents who are still together 20, 30 years and strong and practicing their love for Christ. Rebecca, do you know what? Yeah, do you know what I'm going to say to you? You don't know a lot of parents, so shut your mouth. You're on here talking absolute human fecal matter. You probably belong to one of these church cults. Majority of people are getting in the church are getting cheated on, and their husbands are treating them like human fecal matter. But what I will say, Rebecca, oh, she's been blocked. What I just hope is, you see, gal them like Rebecca, yeah, she looks terrible. I looked at her profile picture, but you see, a lot of gal them in the church, they're number one, they're Delulu. And number two, what is going to humble these gal? Because they got a lot of chat. They got a lot of mouth. Do you understand? A lot of them are immature. They're like 25, 20. Even if you're 30, you're still a little girl. You still don't know nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm 38 and I'm still a little girl. I'm still learning. So if you're 30, you're still a little girl. And if you think you're bigger than your boots, then you need to be humbled. And that is why God will give a lot of these women dusty husbands. Yeah, husbands who are misogynistic and patriarchal. That's why I don't get angry with them anymore. Do you see, like, Inish just blocked her? I just said my little bit and I left it, because I sit here and I laugh at you Christian women that come on and have some chat. I sit down with my rosé and I laugh profusely at you all, because I just know that you're going to be in a marriage. You're going to be thinking that you're the wife, this, that, and the third. And then by the time you're in that marriage, within less than a year, you're going to HAT each other. You're going to start having babies, to think that that's going to save your marriage because your husband doesn't love you. And that's if you can have kids, because a lot of these gal them, they can't have kids in the church cult because the husband puts them through so much trauma and so much stress in their body that they can't even conceive. And they're so unhappy that, you know, trauma starts getting stored in the body. I know of about 5 couples in the church cult that haven't had kids. And they've got a plethora of medical health conditions, and they're in the church serving the Lord whilst their husband's effing out on them. She's coming here. I know a lot of Christians that happily. Oh, shut up, Rebecca. You don't know anyone, you little liar. You can't trust these people. They're liars and the truth ain't in them, unfortunately. Given Dag Eward and David Antry. It isn't it? Yeah. Oh my God, you're so right. It is. Oh my God. Yes, signed. Yeah. You got it with that chair. Yeah, they are not mature enough to understand some wives staying terrible. She knows nothing. Queen Rob, she knows nothing. She knows nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you see them gal there that aren't on the darker side of church, like you and me, Queen. Like, we know what goes on the other side in these church cult spaces. Like, look at that gospel singer Osanachi. She was coming on and smiling and doing her ministering in front of thousands of people. No one ever knew that she was getting her hands on. That girl Rebecca is giving brainwashed cultural. Because until you're in that yard and you are sleeping in that marital bed, seeing how that husband doesn't blow out the back of his wife, you don't know what's going on inside that yard. That's why pastors' kids, and you'll see like the kids of devout Christians, stuck up Christians, are the most messed up children that you could ever meet in your life. That's why we've got these people like Tommy Ariomi, Timothy Bayonne. We've got them all outside just being absolute preds and graping and essaying women, and on dating sites ready to yam out gal them's batty crease. Because they've been with hyper-religious mums who are EVIL. Hyper-religious women who are single married wives are one of the most bitter, WICKED, EVIL women that you will ever meet in your life. That's why I said, I'm not getting angry at men, because these women, deep down, they HATE their husbands and they HATE men. That's why they manipulate and gaslight the men. That's what I'm saying. Like, these men, you see these patriarchs and whatever, they think them women, they act DUMB, but them women are WICKED. They're worse than the men, chair. So that's why I'm saying, like, these men who are in these lifeless, unhappy marriages, they're both, it's like, how can I explain it? They're living in a curse and they're out here. Yeah, they're unfulfilled. They're unfulfilled women, and they're actually operating in the curse. That's why, guys, a lot of these church cults, it's just the pastor's projection. When they're talking about strange women, that's the women that they really want, that they can't have. That's why every single woman that's come forward that had been sleeping with a pastor and a married man of God or a married whatever, they're all baddies. Even if they've stayed within the Christian faith, whatever, they're all baddies. They're baddies. They're baddies. They're women that they wish they could have married, but if they marry them type of women, that's why when you lot are coming and saying Toby's wife's a baddie, that they're not. They're not. Like, everyone wants to be a baddie, guys. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there are very few women that fit into that category. Very, very few women. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of people don't know what it really means. Do you get what I'm saying? We're just calling anyone and everyone a baddie. If you've got like sheen and you've put on sheen and you've got a body, you're a baddie. That don't make you a baddie. It's an energy. It's an energy where you get a man to literally be lusting after you. Like, he's so obsessed. He doesn't know whether he's coming or going. He's doing things outside of his character. That's why when Rebecca was talking, someone rightfully said it's given obsessed, because that's what the baddie energy will do. It will make a man, you start to F up his brain. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't know what he's doing. He's turning up at your house unannounced. He's doing things out of character. He's losing his mind. He doesn't know what's going on with himself. That's a baddie. So don't be coming in my timeline and be talking human. I'm a baddie. I know what I'm talking about. I've been a bad gal since I've been on this throne since 2002, since I was 15. I'm 38 years old now. So I'm the president. So if I'm telling you lot they're not baddies, they're not baddies. It's a mindset. That's why it's not all. That's why you get like fluffy girls who are baddies. You get gal them that are not like, they're not necessarily the best looking to the human eye as what you might think, or conventional beauty would think, but they're a baddie. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's about a source. It's not about getting sheen and getting looking like Jada and putting on, you know, having, because you've gone and done surgery. And now because you've gone and done surgery and you've got a big ass and you've got a small waist and big titties, that you're a baddie. That don't make you a baddie. It's an energy. It's a vibration. It's about your air. Do you get what I'm saying? Please, guys, watch their Future Wifey podcast. Those couples are terrible. Is it? What's that? Is that a Christian podcast? If you lot go on my main page and you look at this content that I've done a duet with, it's a woman that was taking the piss out of couples on religious podcasts, and they're like, "Oh, your pastor, your husband said that he's not attracted to you." "Oh yes, he's not attracted to me. I'm not his type at all. I'm just so glad that he took a chance on me. I know that there are women who are skinnier and prettier and, you know, that he would probably want to be with, but I know that it is the Lord that has brought us together." "Oh, so how do you feel about him cheating?" "Oh, I don't feel anything about him cheating, because, you know, these men of God, they have such big hearts, and it is my ministry to stand by him and be a woman of God. And, you know, that's his ministry. So I'm here to support him." You know, they just sound DUMB. They're absolutely brainwashed. They are not baddies. They both had low self-esteem. I remember their videos at the time. Okay. Tommy's parents literally refused to go to the wedding. They knew what was up. Okay. Yeah, they're no baddies, man. Do you get what I'm trying? Like a true baddie wouldn't be able to be duped by a pred. Do you understand? And be married by a pred. And I know that she's hey girl. Ooh, there's someone on Instagram that say Lul brainwash talking like AI. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, they're like bots, they're like robots. "My name is Chrissy. I am from RPF. I am here to..." They're like robots. They're like robots. That's all they do up. You know, they're absolute liars, and the truth isn't in them. And that's why we've got so many women that are in abusive marriages, emotionally abusive marriages. They're married to dusties. Guys, I want you to understand that these women are sleeping in their bed alone, or what happens is they have their kids in their bed. So you see, like my daughter, when I left the church court, I had to stop having her in the bed with me, because it's like you'll have these kids like in the bed with you until whatever age. That's why the women end up staying in these broken marriages, because they're not actually, because of their Christian ideologies and beliefs, they're not allowed to like divorce them or go out there and cheat. When I started getting feelings for other men, that's when I told my husband, "I've got to separate from you," because I didn't want to be sleeping with men and being in a marriage. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be open with him and honest, and I wanted to say, "Look, this is over," so that I could just have my, because I'm spiritual. So I needed to know that it was over. I didn't want to be having affairs and doing up, you know, it's just not. And I was so indoctrinated, you know, from the cults. So I just didn't want to be that girl. And afterwards, I came out to realize that there's so many women in there that are married and they're just sleeping with each other's like wives and stuff. And there's just no remorse. Like a lot of these people in the church cult, they actually need to get DNAs on their kids, because if a lot of these men done DNA tests on the kids, they would find that these kids ain't even theirs. And the thing is, these women are married to men, but they're in relationships with people that they really love in the church cult. And some of them, they might even have kids for the other guy that they're having an affair with, and they're just all in the church living a big ancestral pool of happily ever after. Hell, thanks for the follow, Tori Rose. Yeah. So there's a lot of these spaces where you will see that they are some of the most abusive church cult spaces. Is there will be a culture of almost like incest. Oh my God. Shakira's going crazy on Instagram. She's saying lights are on, but nobody's home. Do you know what, girl? You're so right. You know what? You lot, oh my God, we're having such a good live today, aren't we? I'm so happy I came on. And we've got people on YouTube. YouTube, you've been quiet though. We've got people on YouTube, we've got people on TikTok, and we've got people on Instagram because I'm on live. Because I copy Shira7. I saw that she was streaming on like 2 other things. So I started doing the same. But it's just great. I just love this space, guys. I'm gonna start winding down soon because I've got to start getting these kids ready. I've got to clean up the yard. And I've got a party that my little girl's going to. I'm so excited for her. Hey, Lainey. Hey, girl. So I just wanted to come on and just have a bit of a conversation with you. And guys, to be honest, I don't really have, friends because I was in the cult for 18 years. And you guys are my friends. You guys have become, I want you to know that. I don't just come on here and, I absolutely love you guys. Do you know what I mean? I love your energy. I love how you build me up, how you build yourselves up, how we build each other up. I just love this community that we've created. Oh, Ines, I love you so much. My long distance relationship. Me and Ines are in a long distance relationship, Chair. Yeah, we're gonna catch up soon, of course, girl. I know how life gets. I know how it all gets, and whether we speak every day, you come on, and I said, you guys are just life is just life, and then I see you in a couple of months, or it doesn't matter. We're all one. We're all connected. Do you get what I'm saying? And we're all here for each other. And now, the beauty is when people come out of these church cult spaces, there is a community. There is a community of us online. We have created this space, and we have fought. We have really had a fight, just to maintain these accounts and get them to where they are today. And we've done this as a collective, and I love it. And that's why, guys, I know there's been a lot of heavy topics because I believe in a relationship with God, but church can be a wild place. Yes. Hey, Queen. Do you know what, girl? I think for the softest, purest hearts, for the people who are good people who are, if you've got a soft heart, if you're like a lover girl or a lover boy. I think for people who have that type of vibe, I don't think that these churches are the place for us. I think we more need to focus on connecting with nature, connecting with God. Like, guys, you can go out and have a Christian book. If it's Christianity that you're into, Islam, spiritualism, whatever, you can go and take a nice book, and it doesn't even have to be a Christian book because there are various different books that can speak to you in many ways. You can go and take a book and go and sit, and you never know, you might find a good man, Chair. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many women do you see sitting on a bench in a park and reading a book, Chair? Do you know what I mean? That's why you have to love yourself, ladies, because I've even noticed there's just a light. It's just shining out of me because I'm genuinely happy. Like, I went to the park the other day, and that beautiful park, and I just went there and I just sat there and I read a bit of my book and I did a bit of a live, and I was out in the sun and I hugged the tree and I had my feet in grass. And if I hadn't have gone to that park that day, and it's more like they've got its gardens, they've got a butterfly garden, I'm going to do a survivor link up there. And just getting out of my bed, guys, I've been so depressed. My health has been absolutely terrible. It's mind over matter. I've been speaking to my brain and myself because they have been trying to do spiritual attacks, but it's all psychological. So when whatever spiritual principality or entity that they're sending to me to tell me, because what they do with Judge, it's brain power. It's all psychology. So if you even give them 1%, they'll get into your psyche and you'll start to believe almost like these voices, because they send like monitoring spirits and voices. So because I'm already battling with my health and my illness, I already feel sick. So it's already hard for me to get up in the morning. So then that whatever they're sending will come and tell me that what they're doing is working on me. Do you get it? But then I have to have more within my programming and my psyche to override that. So whatever voice, whether it's God, my higher self, whatever, just brings me back to reality. Like, that curse cannot work on you. Those words spoken cannot work on you. Mind over matter. So I start talking to myself. I come on the live. I start to clean up. I start to push myself above the limitations. So again, guys, you've got to focus on your brain. It's about brain power. The battle is in the mind. The battlefield is in the mind. That's what the war is. You know, when it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, wickedness and high forces. That's what it's talking about. It's talking about your mind, because the battle is in the mind. You ask a Christian to explain that, they can't explain that verse. All of these verses are mysteries, and all of these verses were mysteries until I started speaking out and started giving a more internal perspective. And to be honest, a lot of us were thinking like this anyway. But I'm talking about the people that are trapped in the church. They don't have this lens, because everything's superficial, artificial, everything's external, and everything's on the outward. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go to some of these comments because it is popping off, chair. I'm sure there's a darkness. I'm sure there's a darkness that you connect to when being a member of these Pentecostal churches. Yes, Lola G. Yeah, they work with deities, and they conjure in principalities and spirits. So remember, the Jesus that they worship in there is not the Yeshua that walked the earth however many years ago. Okay, that is the Roman god that they created in the Vatican. That's why if anyone saw the Pope's funeral, it's a cult. All right, so everything that comes from Catholicism, Protestant, whatever they want to call it, Methodist, it's all offshoot cults of Christianity. So that's why with Pentecostalism, the reason why Pentecostalism is so bad is because, you know, with Catholicism, they all follow like the Roman culture of old. So they're all doing the same thing. They speak in Latin. It's a Roman culture. So that's why you'll notice when these churches are doing like franchises, they use the same blueprint as Catholicism. So that's why their branches are all the same. They're preaching all the same thing. They're doing all the same thing. They've got the same blueprint. It's the same structure, the same system, the same way of doing things. It's all the same, because that's the Roman God that was created by the Romans. It was the Roman elites that put together the canon Bible, which is the most powerful book in the world, which is the elite cultists in high places that we don't even know who really rules the world that put that Bible together. Everybody needs to know that. I'm not here to demonize the Bible. Again, that's why I'm telling people to go within, because it has been tampered with and it's not the infallible truth. So you need to go within so that but not all the books in there are lies. Do you understand? And nothing in there is lies. They're all accounts. But what they've done is they've put the accounts in the book to give you a very black and white, one-sided version of the agenda that they were trying to push at the time. They wanted, because they want a one religion, one world order. That's what they want. And that's what they've been trying to do through Christianity. Remember, I said to you, when Jesus came here, it was a movement. It was not a religion. He said he was coming to destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. So the reason they put him to unalivement was because of the influence that he had. He came to break down systems and structures and societal norms and all the evil that was there. And the evil was the Sadducees and the Pharisees. So the Sadducees and the Pharisees of this time is any man of the cloth. It's all the men of religion. That's why they won't agree with me. That's why they won't work with me. That's why they won't reach out to me, because they see me as a threat. Even if they're not abusing people in their church, all these pastors have cobwebs in their closet that they are trying to hide. All right, that's on period, point blank. So that's why they won't come out and fully work with me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they've got, you know, the seed of that canon Bible is patriarchy and misogyny. And it takes a man that is cultured and has studied many religions, many spiritual practice, many different things to have a certain non-biased lens. So it's not dangerous. Is what I'm saying making sense, guys? So all that happened was these Roman leaders sat around a big red table after Jesus unalived and said, we've got a problem. We need to nip this in the butt, because he's got his followers. They're going to go and do this, that, and the third. So what did they do? They created a religion again, just because remember they had the temples, but Jesus weren't coming to do up that. He was teaching us how to have a personal relationship with God on a one-on-one. Jesus never had no temple. Neither did he ever talk about building temples. The only time they talk about temples, Jesus talk about temples, is when he was talking about destroying it and rebuilding it. And he was talking about the temple being self. Do you get what I'm saying? So they tried to make everything external, because religion keeps people controlled. Religion keeps people as civilized citizens. Do you get what I'm saying? Because there's so many people, they want to try and keep society controlled. And so they were able to introduce things like capitalism, patriarchy, misogyny through the canon Bible. And I know it's hard, guys. I know it's hard to come to these realizations, but we've got to. because it's 2025 and we've got AI, we've got ChatGPT. You know, we're not living in an uncivilized generation anymore. Do you know what I mean? Our human consciousness, the collective consciousness has been raised. There are 11-year-old and 8-year-old children that have more common sense and more knowledge than people, grown ass aunties that are 55 years old and have been in one of these mega churches for 25 years and getting abused by their husband at home. It's getting to the point now where young children the age of 13 and 14 are saying, Mummy, you need to love yourself. Mummy, you need to let go. That's why my kids don't really understand now because they're young. But when they get older, if I decided to stay in a relationship with their dad and their dad's beating me down and calling me FAT, saying that he's going to divorce me by the time the kids go to university, just emotionally abusing me, my kids are going to be the ones to turn back when they're 18. Now my kids, they're living their life. I've stayed in this washed up marriage to say, Mummy, I wish you'd chosen yourself. I wish that you'd left Daddy, because now my issues, my trust issues are seared because of men. This, and that's what's happening. The African kids, that generation is now coming up and saying to their mum, Mummy, I wish you'd left Daddy. We see people on TikTok saying, I wish my mum had not had me so that she could have lived her life and never met my dad. Because when they get older, they start to understand things differently. But the women fool themselves because they're selfish in thinking, oh, I'm staying with the kids. You know, you're not staying with the kids because your husband's putting his hands on your kids. He's breaking down your kids. He's psychologically abusing your kids. And you're saying you're staying in that marriage for your kids. You're a liar and the truth ain't in you. So they need to wake up. So I actually left my ex-husband because I didn't want my girls to be in a toxic environment and see that this is what their mum is putting up with. And this is how, this is their expectation. This is how a man should love them. No, they're seeing a powerful woman. He's getting on TikTok. That's a social justice activist. That's helping people. That's out here championing for people's rights. Their mum is a fighter. And when my kids get older, I'm going to sit down and talk to them about my life and everything I've been through. And my kids will respect it. They'll be strong women. They'll be world changers and leaders in the car. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they like to lie to people in church. Anyway, that comment, thank you for that, girl, because that really just got us into that whole tangent. I'm starting to wind down. Thank you, Read My Lipstick. I'm starting to wind down. So guys, put your questions in the comments. I will be back. I'm in my streaming era this week. But guys, you know, next week from Thursday, you're going to just see content. You lot get ready for it, you know, because your gal is going to go into isolation tunnel mode, and it's just going to be content. You're going to be seeing like 10 videos on one account. So get ready, guys. It's gonna be giving Netflix vibes this week. So get strapped in, get buckled up, get ready. Because as I said to you, I've got a key witness survivor that's come forward. I'm not even gonna expose which church cult it's from. You lot are just gonna get some tea, chair, because boy, what this queen started telling me already, my brain is frazzled. And again, I want to say thank you to all the women that have been essayed, that have been great, that are coming forward. Don't be afraid, man. I'm putting my business out here so that girl them, like, I'm the last one to judge, chair. Your girl is not gonna judge, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is why I put my business out there, because if I don't, women are not going to feel comfortable to come forward. That's on period, point blank. I need to put my business out there. I need to put all my cobwebs out there. I need to show gap, because I'm not innocent. I'm not squeaky clean, and I don't claim to be, and I'm a man eater. Do you know what I mean? So I'm never gonna get played by a man. Do you get what I'm saying? The advice that I would give certain gal them that's on their sprinkle. You know, I turned into Rennie Ricci, big Rennie chair. Don't pee me off. And that's the thing. If a gal's out there and she's trying to do her thing, I can show you how to have game and not get, because I just feel like if the gal them are gonna be outside in these streets, they need to know what they're getting themselves into, and they need to be equipped. Why am I gonna let them walk out blindly? Because these men are absolute misogynists and patriarchs, and they will just use a gal for her body. So if you're out there and you're going to be sleeping with men already, then I'm going to give you a little bit of game so that you can at least try and, you know, have some power, or be able to protect yourself in them environments. So that's on period, point blank, because these pastors are human fecal matter. There's preds in the church, there's preds outside the church, there's preds when you're walking on the street, there's preds when you go into the club. That's on period, point blank. And we need to be aware, and we need to speak our truths. As older women, we need to be drawing ourselves out so that the young girls can learn from our experiences. That's how it's supposed to be. That's biblical. But they won't do it in there because all the women think they're holier than thou. They don't want to talk about their 304 days. They don't want to talk about when they were, do you know what I mean? Because they want to create this image like they're so perfect. And it's like, you're just a liar. Like, I've been in cult like spaces in the acting industry. Once you've entered them spaces, it's very easy to spot the signs. Yes, girl. A lot of the Hollywood is no different from the mega church. That's why, as R. Kelly, P. Diddy, all of them man there, you know, what's that other one? He was, all the young girls, oh, I've forgotten his name. You know, that other one, that other pred. They're getting exposed. They've been getting exposed, girl, since years ago. That was the opening, like like 2022, that pandemic, that was definitely spiritual. I don't care what anyone says. That pandemic was spiritual. That pandemic was like the opening. It was like the gateway to like all of these people getting exposed, because during the pandemic, that's when we came to what is life really about. It's not about money. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's about your health. It's about your family. It's about the people that you love. It's about, yourself. It's about mind, body, and self. No, but Derek Jackson is another one. I'll go with that. Hey, Afro atheist. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's, guys, it's just a travesty. Like, the church, they act like they're not materialistic. They're the most materialistic people that you could ever imagine. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, the Vatican is like the most powerful. They've got the most portfolios, like building portfolios. It's like £1 billion empire. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's absolutely crazy. No, I'm talking about that guy. What's his name? Sasha. The one, all the famous people, he was like traffic lighting, young women. And then there was a woman called Sasha. He had his island. What was his name? And all the celebrities they keep saying they're going to release the list of the guy. He was like, it was like a cult. And then there was that woman that exposed Prince Andrew that was connected to him. You know who I'm talking about? Look after your nervous system, Leah, because a lot of these things are trauma responses. Yes, you're right. Yeah, Epstein. Thank you, Epstein. Yes, y'all. Epstein. That's what I'm saying. That was like the beginning. And then we had exposure of like the Nixivim cults, and then all of these documentaries that started coming on Netflix. Did you notice a lot of information was coming out on Netflix? So it's been like a season. It's been like a wave. Do you know what I mean? That God has been releasing into the atmosphere since the pandemic. That's what I believe. And I feel like in the beginning, because I was just healing. And again, this is a non-religious space. Everyone's welcome. Agnostics, atheists, spiritualists, witches, Satanists, Hinduists, whatever, Buddhists. I always think that there's something that I can learn from everybody. I don't shut the door to absolutely anyone. I was scared though. Someone reached out to me and she DM'd me and she was like, she said, "Oh, you're the queen of mega church cults. I'm the queen of, I don't know, some spiritualist traditional thing she did." I was like, woo, because of the indoctrination. Do you get what I'm saying? I was still a bit like, oh, this is a bit much for me. But I'm just overcoming the fear that they've sown it. That's why I get so angry when they demonize like African spiritualist practices and things like that, because it's like, why are we demonizing our ancestors and what they practiced and what people choose to practice? That's entirely up to them. That's got nothing to do with me. If they've got their alcohol and they're doing up whatever, because I know they use alcohol, whatever, if they're doing up their alcohol and they're whatever they're doing up, they're not hurting me. What, do you know what I mean? Like, why do they concern themselves so much? All they talk about is devils and witches and warlocks and Satan and whatever in these churches. That's all they talk. They talk more about the devil than they do Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, but these are synagogues of Satan. They worship Satan in these places. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And since I've left these cults, I don't have no demonic dreams. I don't have no dream paralysis. I sleep like a baby now. I don't have anything like the day before yesterday, I had the best sleep that I've had in years. So these people, it's just demonic. Like, you invite all these spirits into your life. Like it's demonic. You invite all of this stuff into your life. And as I'm healing more, at the beginning, I couldn't really speak like very spiritually, because I was just still healing, and I was so triggered. But I try to get a balance, because now I'm healing more and I'm becoming more spiritual. I'm still trying to get like a balance, because I don't want people who are where the Bible, I don't really use that much, get out the Bible and talk from the Bible anyway. It's more paraphrased, but I try and keep it like a non-religious space that everyone can feel welcome. But I think as I have started healing more, and I think I'm on the antidepressants, and now I'm not like all over the place and effing and blinding, and I'm able to like control my anger. I think I've definitely got more Christians on board now as well, which is very important, guys, because I don't want anyone to feel, like they can't be a part of this, or they can't, you know what I'm saying? Because as I said to you, there's Christians that have shown me a lot of love, and I'm surprised. I didn't think I'd really be getting the Christians on board and supporting me, but I am. I've got a lot of support from Christians. So I want to say, big yourself up if you're a Christian and you're following me, because do you know what? You guys are special individuals. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you have really deep relationships with God to be able to see past a lot of things and just look at my heart. That's the spirit of Christ. So I want to say thank you for riding with me. Thank you for effing with me. Thank you for riding it out with your girl, because I think people can see, as I'm beginning to heal more, they're beginning to see, be able to hear my truth a little bit more. Because I know for Christians, it must have been a bit hard in the beginning, because I was just raggo. I was angry, not hurt, angry. Like really, there was a lot of anger because I was coming to the realization that a lot of women were getting raped in these spaces and a lot of women were getting essayed. And I felt angry that I had given my life, made so many sacrifices for a denomination that turned out to be literally like an sex cult. It really, really hurt me. The trauma that I'm still left with. But in the beginning, I was just so angry. I just want to get F, yeah. But now as the time's gone on and I've sought the help and I've fought, guys, I've fought for my mental health. I've tried to do like all of the right things, like reach out to the medical health professionals. And I want to say, before I start getting ready to come off live, please, 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 guys, please, please, please prioritize your mental health, okay? Like, I know it's really scary, like going to the GP, exploring antidepressants, exploring, therapy and counseling and stuff like that. But guys, I would say, like, please, especially if you've been in these cults for, long durations of time, or you were a virgin when you were in the cult and, someone took your V, or, something like really traumatic kind of stuff, please seek professional advice. Everything right and true from the true loving God has been demonized, and all the true spiritual people, it's upside down. So everything that they portray as evil is good, and everything they portray as good is evil. Procrastination, not wanting to get out of bed. That's why with the African spiritualism, I'm not saying I'm going to turn into an African spiritualist, because I don't know what the future will hold. But one thing I will say is I'm not going to demonize it. Do you get what I'm saying? Because as I've deconstructed, and I don't want to say to deconstruct. I'm trying to learn, because I think rather than, thank you, Queen Innes, I think rather than learning about like lavery and what the YT man done and this, I just think that's going to make me too bitter and angry. I think what I'm rather going to do is look at lavery and women like Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was a hoodoo spiritualist, all right? And because of her practices and her beliefs, she was able to free laves. Yeah. Did I say Harriet Tubman? She got the laves out in it underground. So what I'm beginning to learn is that this hoodoo practice came about as a result of lavery and people just trying to set themselves free. And a lot of the hoodoo practices were and are hidden in the black churches. And I think because it's just like a toxic mix, because they're using a lot of false doctrines, and then they've added the misogyny and patriarchy. And then when they bring the toxicity of really negative African cultural practices, it just starts to get really toxic. Even that church, people love sending bad intentions to people. The us versus them you talk about is very real. Yeah, that's cult psychology, girl. That are them characteristics that Yanya Lalich has done. I mean, she's just an absolute cult expert. But I hope that I will get to like that Yanya Lalich. I will get to that Yanya Lalich level. Do you know what I mean? Where I want to be a recognized cult expert. I want to be a doctor in the field, or maybe even a professor. I want to contribute to research. I want to dedicate my life to this. I really, really do. I want to write books. I want to educate people. Do you know what I mean? This is my purpose. So I hope in my book, what I'm doing is, we've had just characteristics of just a cult. Nobody's done like church cult character. No one's broken down. Do you get what I'm saying? And created certain models and created. So I'm in the process of doing that. I'm sure a little BITCH that follows absolutely everything I do is going to come out and say she's writing a book soon, because she likes to copy and teeth everything I'm doing. But, you just have to leave it. The more books that are out there, the better. And, she don't have my knowledge, so it's not going to be the same. But yes, I'm trying not to say too much about what I've put in that book. Thanks, Read My Lipstick, for the Innes for the gifts. But there's going to be some real game-changing theories and ideological perspectives that I'm going to be putting in that book, and I am going to get that out to you guys before the year ends. Even that church people love read that procrastination, not wanting to get out of bed, etc. Yeah, it gets really hard, guys, because we're weighed down with so much negative thoughts, and the way they program you is just to be like an enabler and to be high functioning for the cult. Everything else you don't really have, like because it's the transcendent belief system, you see, like that's how they get you galvanized and, you know, out there. It's through the transcendent belief system of thinking that you'll win the lost at any cost. That's why people with like severe mental health and stuff, they will be really fall vulnerable and prey to these environments, because they need something to always keep their mind busy. Do you get what I'm saying? So the transcendent belief system will make them believe, like, you know what makes me fight to come on and even do my hair and brush my teeth and come on is you guys. It's the collective. I have a purpose. I have people that I'm accountable to, that I'm coming on to, that I'm sharing, speaking my truth, and we're all benefiting from it, blah, blah, blah. So like in the cults, they have like similar setups where people will be putting like their mental health. That's why I'm saying about putting a bandage over the trauma, because but the difference is we're talking about healing. We're talking about, you know, growing and whatever, but in there everything's about doing. It's a high control environment, so people just put a bandage on the trauma and they'll just be coming in. I have to be here for so and so because they're in a worse situation than me. I have to come here to support the pastor. Do you understand? It's that type of vibe. So you'll see that people, they're not actually in there for God. It's all psychological. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's because of the indoctrination, how they get into their psyche, and they change the way that they think, and they change the way that their psychosocial views. So they change their perception of how they view and see the world. So it becomes very skewed, and they start to take on the Machiavellian, you know, mindset that the cult leader has. Because remember, they're soaking in the messages, they're listening to the cult leader all the time, they're reading the cult leader's book, so they have the whole mindset of a Machiavellian. So that is how they are going to move. Given the identity of God, a male gender needs to be explored. Yeah, and the spirit has no gender. I mentioned that a lot, actually. Read my lipstick, and I think when I come back for the when I've done the birth, because I've got to go and get these kids ready now for the birthday. But when I come back, when I go to the birthday, I'll explore that, because that's very true. And I think, but that again is just the misogyny and the patriarchy, because it's like the 12 disciples are men. That's because they've hidden the books of the women, you know, in the Vatican. So we've only got a little bit of Mary Magdalene's gospel, which is about going within. If you read Mary Magdalene's gospel, you'll get why they try to hide it. There's a lot of women. There were more women involved in Jesus' ministry than there were men. But that's all been hidden, and we don't have, you know, you have to go into like facts, like history, to look at that. Because it may, and this is why I'm saying that deconstruction of Christianity is not just deconstructing the twisting and manipulation of verses and scriptures. It also goes into deconstructing misogyny and patriarchy, looking at women of the times, looking at historical artifacts, writings and works from women that walked the time that Jesus Christ was here, looking at artifacts. So when Jesus was crucified, they booked him in, and they've got those original whatever it was that he signed to show like his height, male weight, etc. So, you know, you can start to build a picture based off the factual evidence that we have outside of the canon Bible, to start to marry up the things that where there's more evidence to back some of those things in the Bible, to see, oh, okay, this is truth, this is factual. Do you get what I'm saying? You can even cross-reference it to other sacred texts and different schools of thoughts. I'm taking it up a notch, where there are universal truths and laws. This is what I do, because this is safest for me, and that's why I've kept the consciousness of Christ, what Christ embodies as the truth, the way, and the life. Because then that way, all that Jesus spoke was truth. This is, to me, this is my truth. So when I can marry and find those teachings against other religions, other spiritual belief systems and sacred texts, I know that, and then I can see that in universal laws. I can see that in science. I can see it in philosophy. I can see it in many different disciplines and schools of thoughts. Then to me, that fits in as being truth. Does that make sense? So anything that is the antithesis of patriarchy and misogyny will not fit into the rhetoric of the canon Bible, because that's why, because I've got a matriarchal lens of Christianity, they'll say that I'm the devil. They'll say that I don't believe in the same God of the Bible. And yeah, maybe they are right, because that's the Roman God. So one of us are telling the truth and one of us is a liar, and it's the pastors. They're the liars and the truth ain't in them. They're the ones thieving people's money. You see these pastors, if they weren't saying that they were pastors and they didn't have a church, you would take one look at that man and see evil. Yeah. It's just that they speak words. They've got no true spirit of Christ. They've got no love in their heart. That's why they can create a whole religion that of gender inequality, gender hierarchy, where a man is seen as a god. And like Read My Lipstick is saying, it's God the Father, God the Son, and then the Holy Spirit is genderless. What are you telling me, bro? Like, what? Listen to me. I'm gonna end on this. I'm gonna look into because they are blowing it up on Instagram. Shakira is saying, wasn't the temple him because he unalived and was resurrected in 3 days? Yeah, yeah. Ooh, he was the temple. Ooh, Shakira's dropping some. Ooh, girl, that just hit, boy. African men especially have resentment for their mothers for that specific reason, and they perpetuate the same behavior. Oh, there's guys, I'm just going to go through the Instagram comments before I come back to her, because I want to make sure everybody's voice is heard in the comment. Everyone was exposed. What happens in the dark comes to the light. I'm a Christian and you speak a lot of sense. Ooh, Shakira, you're a woke Christian girl. A lot of Christians don't believe in going to doctors, but to me, that's a lack of wisdom. You can do it, Leah. You've got to be careful of religious psychosis in these things. Look at Pastor Toby. Yeah. And you know what, Shakira? You're an absolute queen because you're a woke Christian. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you've got your own, like my brethren, she's like a proper like church mother. Like, she is so, but you know what? We had to have a season of not being friends because she was just hyper religious, child. She used to just, you know, like if you think of the typical church mother, that girl was brainwashed to the point where I felt like she needed to be sectioned and get mental health support at a point. And she just would over spiritualize everything. But since we've had our like separate time, now what I've noticed is that she has brought herself down to common sense a little bit, because they'll lie, you know, like if a wife's husband is like cheating on her and with the mistress, the husband, the pastor will be saying, pray, you have to pray and believe in God, give the offerings, and the woman will be in her prayer room, she's a prayer warrior, praying that the husband's mistress, you know, because it's the mistress is Jezebel, she'll be praying, and they're so delulu, and it will take the wife, the husband effing out on her, having a baby with the mistress, leaving her, ending up going off with the mistress, for her to see that, okay, God wasn't speaking to her. It was just her infatuation and her internalized misogyny, you know. And now she can see that she's been duped. Pastors have taken advantage of her because she was desperate and naive. So now all of those offerings that she took, because, and all those prophetic words, I see the Lord is sending your husband back to you. The mistress is going to unalive. The mistress is going to force it. You know, all of that, because these men of God are evil and wicked. And if they see a vulnerable person that is coming to them and willing to give money, and they're desperate, and they'll prey on that. They're not hearing from God. So do you see how women have spent like their whole life like holding on to this man, because these false prophets have ignited, fueled, perpetuated their spiritual psychosis. Don't block Star, guys, their spiritual psychosis, and just fed into the absolute human fecal matter of what they're doing up. It's really sad. I don't call myself religious because that's false doctrine. Jesus hated the Pharisees. Ooh, Shakira, and this is why I said I'm not here to. I'm non-judgmental. I've got an unbiased lens. So when you're around Leah, you're not going to get, and this is why they're so angry. This is why they're so mad at me, because what I've done, it takes a higher level of knowledge and wisdom, because I'm non-biased. I don't discriminate against anyone. If I had come in here, like, hate in my heart would be discriminating all Christians and saying no Christians can come on the line, no Christians can speak, look, Shakira has blessed us. She has watered our soul with all of her commentary on there. So say like, if now, this is why I had to heal, because if I had been bitter, I would be like that, just as bad as a Christian saying, no, you can't come here, you can't speak your truth, you can't, no, B, I F with everyone. Everyone should have a voice. There's got to be someone who's non-biased, because Jesus Christ was actually non-biased. That's why we should be following Christ and not the men that came to make a religion out of Christ and to sell him like a cheap McDonald's meal, because Jesus was mixing with everybody. Jesus was around everybody. Jesus accepted people as they are. Jesus didn't come and enforce his laws and his mindset and whatever. And it was because they were around Jesus Christ that they naturally, like, they through his teachings, that their hearts were softened and they believed. And do you know what I mean? Because of the energy, the frequency that he was carrying, that he was operating at. And remember, I said to you that the highest frequency is love. So because Jesus was operating at that frequency, everybody felt love towards him, and he didn't judge anybody. That's why, like, saving that woman, remember he said, he who is without sin cast the first stone. He saved that woman's life, and as a result of his actions, that made the woman, like, you know, come to know Christ. So it is not about, you know, words. It is not about these church buildings and them try, you know, most of the people in there are just, as you lot were saying on Instagram, they're robots. Lights are on, no one's home. Do you get what I'm saying? So they're just sitting there in a cognitive dissonant state and being indoctrinated so that the pastors can control them. There's no real relationship with God. These people don't even know God. They don't know where it starts and they don't know where it ends. The best relationship was Jesus and the Samaritan woman. So much chemistry. Oh, you know, someone else, but they spoke about the Good Samaritan the other day. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. Do you know what? Do you know what one of my favorite parables are in the Bible is the widow's mite. And I just got shivers all over me just then. The widow's mite. I mean, I could just do a whole live for like the whole day and just talk about the widow's mite and that's it. And we could have a discussion around all of the different meanings of that. We could look at it from a philosophical lens, from a cult psycho-ed lens. We could look at that through a science, like so many different lenses, because there's so many hidden truths in that. But I love that scripture because it just really shows that, you know, God's not about money. It's about the heart. It's about the intention of the person. Again, it just, for me, it's justice. Do you know what I mean? And it gives me a bit of a lens into the justice of God and how God tests and weighs the heart and looks at the internal and not the external. And actually, you know, it just that parable alone disqualifies a lot of pastors, because we've all heard pastors say, "Oh, £10. What will £10 do? The envelope is worth more than £20. You have to give more than £20 because it's all about money." They're not thinking about the widow's mite. Someone might come and give that £10, and that might be their last £10 that they've got. They don't even know how they're going to feed their family. Someone else gives 100 grand. They've still got 50 million in the bank. So that woman that's given the £10, her offering is seen as way more to God than someone who gave 100 grand. But the pastor will be inviting that person into their office and giving them certain privileges, and give them a nice, good wife, isn't it? A wife that's a virgin, a wife that's this and that. Go and make the woman marry a man that's an absolute monster. Do you understand what I'm saying? Marry a man that's an absolute monster because he gave £100,000 to the church, but he's got a whole load of mistresses and he's a woman beater. But because the pastor wants to keep him sweet. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the kind of stuff they do, guys. It's corrupt. The best relationship was Jesus and the Samaritan woman. So much chemistry. A good one is Lot's wife. It reminds us to stop looking back on the things we've healed from. Ooh, Shakira, you should come on and speak to us later, because I'm going to take some lives later on. Guys, I want to make it a Survivor Speaks live later. So I'm going to do a post saying that I want survivors to come on and speak, because I've been doing a lot of speaking this week. But I know why. It's been solemn. I know a lot of people have just been listening because we've had a lot of disclosures. We've had a lot of women come forward talking about being essayed and raped. And I think that there is going to be like a surviving Tommy and Toby Ariomi type of vibe, because we had surviving Timothy Bayonne. And now I think we're going to... Oh, you love it when I change to the African accent. When did you like it? When did you like it? Okay. Eh? I love doing the African accent. Do you know what I mean? And you know me, guys, I'm such a beg. I'm going to go to Nigeria for like 3 months. Like when my kids get older, I see myself just moving to Africa. I honestly see myself, because I just want to get treated like the queen I am. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like Nigeria is the only place that's going to be able to make that happen for she, her, I. Do you know what I mean? But you lot, just brace yourself, because when you see your girl in Nigeria, I'm going to be out there for like 3 months, and I'm going to come back with this fake accent, like thinking that I'm Nigerian. Well, I am. I'm 37.1%, aren't I? But like them begs that go to another country, like Timothy, like he's been in like... I can't get a Nigerian passport. I'm still married. I've still got a Nigerian surname, y'all. I'm still Madame Mrs. I'm still a married woman. I still got my Nigerian surname, and I've still got... I can go to the Nigerian embassy. I can get my passport tomorrow, yeah. Don't ever get it twisted. That's something I need to sort out before I divorce this guy. I want my Nigerian passport, or just make it easier when I want to go and live out there. So I need to do that, because out of that 10-year marriage, that's the one thing I need to do, is get my Nigerian passport. So actually, I'm going to get that before the year's up. Let him come in useful for something, innit? Where in the Bible does it say to blow on someone because the pastors love doing it? Ooh, yeah, girl, that's not a biblical practice. That's a Verdun practice. The Verdun spiritualist came on and told us BW love divorce. Oh, is it? Did you get divorced? Divorce is the best thing. Divorce made me into the woman that I am today. This SEXY vixen. Do you know what I mean? I'm 38, looking like I don't know. Maybe I want to beg it and say 29, but I'm gonna say 30 to be humble. But I'm not gonna lie. I still get ID'd when I'm buying my wine. So according to a lot of Tesco workers, they think that I barely look 21. That's why I'm like, whatever, like no one could come and break down my confidence, bitch. Because I get man them nearly crashing their cars looking at me. Man them be opening the door, man them be paying for my shit when I'm out. Like I don't, so you can say what you want, because that's all it's about for the gal them. Because they're acting like they don't care, but they do, because they're in there for some D. Guys, I'm gonna start winding down now. Oh, thanks, Sonila Manifest. Love you. I get ID'd still. That's what I'm saying, Shakira, and it makes us feel good. Do you know what I mean? Like, it makes us feel great. We have to look after ourselves. And part of looking after ourselves, oh, you're 30. But girl, come on. The girls in their 30s, we're absolutely unalive in it. We are helping the younger gal them in their 20s to level up. That's what the 30-year-olds are doing. You're welcome. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not these rinsed out aunties. We're not going to be rinsed out at 50 or whatever. We're looking after ourselves. We're decentering men. We are the future for the women. It's actually the women in the 30s that have changed the mold. Oh, thanks for the follow, Crystal. We're actually the revolution. It's the women, all the women in their 30s and the 40s. We are the ones, do you know what I mean? All of the vixens, all of the women that have broken the mold out of, internalized misogyny and patriarchy, the ones who are changing and breaking traumatic cycles, because I don't believe in curses. So the trauma cycles, this, that, and the fact, like, we're the queens, we're the matriarchs of this life, this world. We are queens, we are goddesses, we are empresses, we are she, her, that, and everything else. Like, we are the ones. Yeah, we've dissented it. Yeah. We're just the queens, because you know what? Us millennials, and then like Shakira's, those eight, like the Gen Zers, like I would say from like maybe 25, 20, the ones that are 25, 27 now, we're like the last woke generation. We were the ones who came to pave the way and change things. That's why, do you see all these parents, like the Gen Z and the millennial parents, they're on there, they're like, they're playing like, I don't know, like Tupac to get their kids off to sleep, or like, like drill. We're the most unserious generation that there's ever been. Like, we're still like big kids, because we had to go through so much. I don't think you understand. Like 18, they had us working full-time jobs on these apprenticeships, trying to buy a house so young, people getting married in these like relationships at 21. No, our generation, man, like, so what's happened is we were adults like in our late teens and our early 20s, and now that we're going into our 30s, we're starting to come to realizations. We're like, F that, they teethed it from us. We didn't have the internet. That's why you're seeing a lot of millennials taking over the internet, like, the social media. You're seeing a lot of us come out now, because a lot of us are waking up, because if we had social media in our day, it would have been mad. So now you're just seeing us, like, we're like in our 30s, but we're more like 20-year-olds, like, because we're like, we never had the internet. Is this making sense? So for us millennials, we're like, oh, we got the internet, because we never had it, and you lot are just out here seeing us, and we're lit. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I love it. I love this. Have you heard of a woman called Sana's World? I think she's a spiritualist, but she uses the Bible a lot. The way she does things is so interesting. No, can you send it to me? But that's the thing, Shakira. Again, this is what I'm saying. It doesn't mean that we can't learn something, or we can't, something that someone says who's a spiritualist, it can still resonate. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because as you said, some of them may use the Bible, so there may be certain truths within what they're saying. But then if they go and start doing something else, do you know what I mean? That doesn't resonate with you. So you can leave it, because something that you hear, you can take it and you can apply it to your life, to your practice, whatever, your spiritual practice, how you see, conceptualize the world. It can just open your mind to understanding things. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. That's why we can't be closed-minded. I believe we break the cycle for restoration. Oh, definitely. That's why all the brainwashed Christians are in these church cults praying for a revival. They think there's going to be a revival, chair. They've lost their damn mind. Like, They've just lost it. That generation of the Nagonis and Tyrone Juniors and Bishop Dag's son, Joshua Eward Mells, they are going to be the ones to sink Pentecostalism like the Titanic ship. They are going to be the ones to destroy the faith. All them young man them that have come up, they're double the evil of their fathers. They've duped a lot of people. I've never seen WICKED-ness like these man them. And I am so glad that I got my kids the hell out of this toxic fake religion, because these type of evil MFers that are in the church cult, listen, I'm not the one. You play with my kids, I will unalive you. If you do something to my children where they're not going to be the same again, I will unalive. Minakir. I don't care. I don't care who sees it. I don't care if you record me and record me well, be. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm glad I got my kids up and out of that place, because if anybody had laid a finger on my children, I would literally nap that guy for 3 days and chop off his ting and make him eat it, because that's what the pagan told me to do. So I will, again, you see, I'm not a pagan, but when she told me, because I was just going to chop off his thing, but when she said, "Oh, get him to eat it," I said, "Oh, I love that. I love that dark side of, So again, that resonated with me. So I'll take that. And if anybody done anything to my kids, actually, I will make him yam his thing on period point blank. Minakir. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end it on this. Say, I love TikTok shop. I love TikTok shop. I'm going to end the live though, because that's a bit much. And I can't get any warnings or nothing on this account. Yeah. All right, guys. Love you. I'm going to go. I'll be back around 4-ish. I'm going to just lock off TikTok. I'm going to end on Instagram and YouTube. So if you want to spend the last 5 minutes with me, it's Leah Lauder 77. TikTok, I love you. I'll be back later. Put on your notifications. All right. Love you. I had to get off TikTok because, TikTok. Well, actually, I didn't get any warnings, but guys, it's best to be safe than sorry on TikTok, because, oh my God, I just started this account I think maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, and I've got over 1,000 followers on it. So that's good. People are showing me love, chair. People are showing me love on TikTok. In this, look, do you see? Remember, I started this account like a couple of weeks ago. Look, I've got like nearly over 1,000 followers already, and they're all new people. There's a few people that I've seen. That's that account. Do you notice on all of our accounts in this, we literally have different people on the different accounts? Do you see what I'm saying? You see how good God is? It's like God has set up like 8 different churches online. It's like we've got mega churches. Like all of my accounts would be classed as a mega church because that's how they think. That's their hey Adele. That's how they think. They're seeing what I'm doing as like a leader, as like a type of prophet, and I'm ruining all these people's lives, and I'm taking them away from God and the church. And that's how they're materializing it, because they can't see it as love. Like I'm just doing it out of love, and people have heard and feel my heart, and they're feeling what I'm saying, and it's resonating. They can't conceptualize that, because everything they do is EVIL, and everything they do has a hidden motive, and there's a hidden ulterior motive and intent, which is evil and wicked. So the pastors in that are just straight up wicked. And guys, I'm gonna go. I just wanted to end. I didn't want to come off so abruptly on YouTube and Instagram. I want to thank everybody for supporting me. I absolutely adore you. I'm never sitting on here speaking to myself, and that is just evidence that God is here with me, because God will never let me be put to shame. God is always here, always on my side, and God always works things out and turns things around for our good, guys. The one thing I'm going to say to you is I'm still making it non-religious. I don't want this to be too God, but guys, at the core of me, I absolutely love God. I can't stop talking about God and Jesus, and God is my life. I just don't know what I would have done without God and Jesus. I would have been finished. I would have been gone. I would have just unalived. Okay, I'm gonna do some content talking about my I've done my story on here, but I haven't done like a proper one. And I was thinking I need to do CapCut. So I'll do like my full story and put it up on YouTube, because I'm going to start using CapCut now, guys, to make my videos look a bit more professional. And I just want to say that, I can't get on here and not talk about the grace and the love and the mercy of God that has absolutely saved me. And just quickly before I go, this morning I was waking up and I was feeling a bit bad, because I just get on my phone first thing in the morning. That might be because of my ADHD, actually. And I was feeling a bit down, and I was saying to God, like I want to, do more for you, and, like pray more and do this more. And I just felt like God said to me, but your life is it's like an example. It's like I felt like God saying almost like a memorial, you know, for me. And God was saying to me that I need to change the way that I see and like internalize and perceive prayer and speaking to God, because God just said to me, we talk every day, every second, like it's a lifestyle. But they make us think that everything should be external. Remember, the Pharisees like to be seen praying and doing all these spectacular shabayata baba. But God is in my heart, and I'm speaking to God all throughout the day, to the point where people think I'm crazy because I'm talking to God, but it looks like I'm talking to myself outside, because God has become that real to me, where I'm like, oh, I don't know if should I get the eggs, or should I get, people are like looking at me, and it's like, that's how real my relationship has become with God. Because I was in the wilderness, I didn't have anybody, I had no friends, I was in there for 18 years, I had no one to turn to, and God kept me. God kept my mind, he kept my sanity, he kept me alive. And I'm still using he, and I'm trying not to make God, you know, just a male figure, because I definitely think that there's a masculine and a feminine element within God, because you can't reproduce or even have life or whatever without those two entities. And we found that absolutely everywhere. You can find it in nature, you can find it in bloody science, you can find it everywhere. So when I say he, please don't think, you know, God is an entity. Do a big launch for it, little snips, then a release date. Oh, do a big launch for it and then little snips, then a release date. Okay. All right. Thanks, Adele. I'll do that. And that's just, when you mean my full story, do you mean like from my past, like when I was like the gang days and like my childhood into the cult, or just like my cult journey from like when I was on X Factor? But she's saying full story. So I suppose that's a really good idea, isn't it, guys? And because I'm using CapCut, I'm going to start using CapCut now. All right, so I'm going to do that next week. I'm going to make that my focus, because next week I was looking at focusing on my content. Thanks, Adele. That's a really, really good idea. And you see, this is the beauty of the movement. I also want to say that you see in these cults, this is what I'm going to end on, finally. The cult masters, like the cult leaders, yeah, they don't let anybody have free speech. They don't let anybody come in and like have their own opinion, like, you know, like share their truth, like give opinions and things like that. So nothing ever gets there's no autonomy, there's no creativity. They're just doing the same thing over and over again. But you see, because this is a collective and it's open, and I've taken so much advice from so much advice from survivors, from you know, even on how to do the content. One second, oh, she looks so cute. On how to do the content, on ideas. And I think, yeah, oh, how I got here. Okay. So that's why it's really good, because look, Adele's just given me a brilliant idea. But if I was thinking I was above people and, you know, this mighty, you know, person who comes on the internet and whatever, I would never take like a lot of the advice and a lot of the suggestions that have made the movement as big as it is today. So I want to say thank you. Big yourselves up, guys. I love you. I absolutely love you. Thank you for riding with me. Thank you for supporting me. You're going to see a lot more coming from me over the next couple of months. So anyway, YouTube, I'm going to say bye. Love you. I'll be back on later in the evening. All right.